fireball. So it takes you 3 extra turns, so they get a lot of extra armor ups in. And just things like Loatheb and Shield Maiden and Shield Block, have way more time. Whereas if you do the Malgus version, it's all in one turn. You do your Frostbolt Ice Lance, plus the additional 20 in one turn. So it's a lot better against Warrior specifically. And then as far as matchups across the board go, yeah, it hurts some of your matchups. It's interesting in the Mage Mirror, but generally you'd want the Pyroblast and the Antonitis as well, because that deck drops it. But if you're playing all of them, then it's good. But yeah, it really depends.
Yeah, a lot of players that I've talked
they switched back to the just like the more cleaner, consistent version. They can't really fit the Malgus in consistently.
I was actually talking to your teammate Reynad, and he says he hates Pyroblast. And he was having a conversation with Oskaka, and they were both saying how they've been cutting Pyroblast. Was he just jumping on the bandwagon? He heard Oskaka say that he was cutting Pyroblast?
Well, okay, I remember back in the day, I used to try to get him into Pyroblast Antonitis, and he was like, no, I don't like Antonitis, it's too slow, I'm going to go to Pyroblast. And now he's not liking Pyroblast, which is okay if he's playing Malagus, but I'm not even sure what he's doing. But I guess Emperor made Antonitis a little bit better, so he probably likes Antonitis better. I don't know what he plays, though, in terms of Freeze Mage. I haven't seen him play it in a while.
Yeah, I think he was just going with the flow of the conversation. But so far, Sip the Chirp has managed to rack up about 14 armor. He got Ysera down pretty safely. It's looking to be one of those pretty standard Control Warrior versus Mage games. There's a chance for Nassim to still come back in this one, but it's going to mean he has to basically draw exactly Archmage Antonitis, Alex Straza, like, in turn.
Yeah, and he's going to need, like, even if he gets double Doomsayer, it's not going to go off. He has an Owl and an Execute just waiting, so Ysera's never going to die. Although he has the option to finally Flame Strike that Emperor, which he's been kind of ignoring for the time being. Ysera lives forever, but that's okay. There's actually not that many relevant draws off Ysera. You'd like a not a Nightmare. You'd like a Awakens just for the burst, for the Grom activation. But other than that, they're all pretty useless. The Dream is actually pretty cool because you can hit things like your Shield Maiden, if you or maybe that Owl if he needs to silence again. You can actually get some pretty cool lethals with Owl because they freeze your board and they leave they'll try to freeze Grom.
Yeah, or you can a weird way to remove a Doomsayer as well.
Yeah,
he can almost play his whole hand. His Shieldman and Dr. Boom Deathbite hand. Actually, he can play his whole hand next turn.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. He wouldn't even be able to with the room on the board, but he would have the mana to, which is the crazy thing.
Oh, you can even set something up too. If No Stem ever tries to Doomsayer, if he can get him low enough, he can just place the Doctor Boom on the board, kind of like a Leper Gnome. Get him to 1, play the Doctor Boom, then the Doomsayer just suicides himself, basically.
Yeah. Oh man, 19 armor. He's gonna armor up this turn as well. 21. He's got 50 effective health.
Yeah. So at this point, if he's not playing Malagos, then even if he is playing Malagos, he doesn't have the Emperor yet. So I don't think he's gonna have enough time to win this game. But to say okay, so there's the Emperor. That's what I was about to mention. Is he didn't even have the Emperor yet. But now that he has the Emperor, there is some hope. But he can't get it down this turn, so he's gonna have to wait one more turn.
Yeah, but right now
quite a few fireballs.
Yeah, but right now he hasn't even drawn into the key cards yet. Alex Straza doesn't do as much in this matchup because a lot of times you have more armor to get through than actual health. Of course, it helps if you can keep their armor low. But right now, he just needs to get the Emperor down, lots of value out of that, and then he needs to draw into Emperor Archmage Antonitis nearly right after it in order to make use of it before he just dies.
Yeah, I wouldn't have actually minded seeing... He went for the ping there. I wouldn't have minded to just be a little more mana efficient, throw the fireball at face. You're not losing any... You're losing 1 damage from the ping, but with the armor, you're not losing any damage. And you kind of have to free your hand up, because if you are going to win, it's going to take Antonitis and a lot of fireballs, and you kind of have to make room in your hand for that.
Yeah. And he's got a decent hand for when Emperor does come down, because he's got both Ice Lances. Those are going to be reduced to 0, so he has the potential to make all his fireballs, but I don't even know if he's going to be able to get to that point. so many big threats in Sip the Terp's hand. He's gonna have to answer the board because he's already gotten pretty low. So he does have both secrets up, so he's a little bit safe. He's gonna have a couple more turns to do it, but he's just in a super rough spot. 21 armor still to get through.
Yeah, he's still holding on to that Emperor too. He technically had the Flamestick last turn, but if he's holding something like Malagos, then he really has to hit the Malagos with the Emperor. And he probably wants to hit the Antonidas as well with it. Because both of those cards he has to combo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's gonna break right through the ice barrier here and go ahead and break the block this turn. And there's no second block in the hand here.
Yeah, can you see the very leftmost card? Oh, wait, I think it is block. Like the camera's blocking it, but yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I saw it when the Grom hit and it bounced up.
Oh,
our
Grom's
view's not perfect, but in the future we'll just keep track of whatever's on the far left.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's Frostbolt. Okay, so it doesn't have block.
Oh yeah, I can see the Frostbolt. Yeah. That ice block looks a lot like a Frostbolt.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, he's going to be able to freeze most of the board here, but all these spells that he's throwing out are spells that need. He's just going to run out of damage. He has no damage left. He won't be able to get down Archmage Antonidas and use spells in the same turn in order to actually have an engine for draw. So he pretty much just. There's no way for him to win at this stage.
Yeah. I'm going to do some quick math. Let's see if he has 21 armor. I got the calculator out. That's
okay.
15.
Hyped math. 15% of 195 is less than 95.
If he had Malagos, he had plenty of damage, and it would have only taken him 2 turns to get all the damage out. So you can see the power of Malagos there. So he'd only have to live 3 more turns. He'd have to Alex, he'd have to Emperor, and he'd have to Malagos.
Yeah.
And then he can just win.
Yeah. All right,
Whereas say he got the Antonidas, it would take like 3 turns it would take forever.
Sip the Terp is going to win game number 1.
Yeah, I mean, you're always a little sad when you bring Freeze Mage and your opponent brought Control Warrior, which isn't even that popular. Like, Grim Patron Warrior is a little bit stronger these days.
Mm-hmm.
And if Sip the Terp brought Control Warrior, we can kind of assume that maybe he's trying to target Grim Patron rather than bring it himself. So this Hunter is probably going to be a hybrid Hunter. Because Face Hunter doesn't quite do it, and Mid-Range Hunter is a little bit too slow, so it's probably a hybrid Hunter or just a faster Mid-Range Hunter, like a Mid-Range Hunter with Leper Gnome, something like that.
Yeah.
Or, what did I see? I saw something cool in Mid-Range Hunter the other day. I'm not sure. Oh, like Harrison. Someone was playing that in ESL. But we can assume the Warlock's probably Handlock, just something to target your own patron.
It seems to be the way that players have been going. They've either been bringing Patron Warrior in their lineups or bringing a lineup that specifically counters Patron Warrior. So
yeah,
it's super interesting.
With a lot of people are coming out with the Aggro Paladin a lot, which is a pretty strong deck. And the strength of that is, or one thing you can do with that is you can target Handlock, which actually, even though No Stone doesn't have it, it might be what he's countering. Because Freeze Mage is fantastic against Handlock, and he has a Warrior, which you can build Warrior with Double Brawl, BGH, Owl, Nefarian, Ysera, and just beat Handlock every time as well. And then his third class was Warlock, which if he plays either Combo Lock, either the Malgus or the Leroy Faceless version, he should be able to lock out Handlock pretty effectively.
Nefarian, the #1 counter to Handlocks. Because you have like a 10% chance to instant win when you play Nefarian if they play Jiraxxus?
Well, I did get the sack pack the other day, but I died before the Jiraxxus, so almost.
What a shame. You're trying to bait out the Jiraxxus by like bringing them low, even though you know that like they have Molten Giants and Jiraxxus.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you would go about baiting out a Jiraxxus. Play Harrison on an empty board.
Play the Harrison on the board, yeah.
Yeah.
Go. Right.
All right. What do you think?
This is like basically the dream start. He could have. Sometimes I like Loot Hoarder there, but this is totally fine as well. Actually, it's actually really bad for the Handlock. The Handlock wants to be going first because you want the turn 4 Mountain Giant, whereas you don't really want the Coin Twilight Drake as much, or just the Mountain Giant if you're going second. So you want to go first, and you also want the Mage not to get stuff like Mad Scientist, Loot Hoarder. We see 1 silence going down on the Scientist, which is interesting. Like, normally you'd want to silence the... I guess you only got 1 draw off the Acolyte, so he basically silenced 1 draw. But the owl's down, which is going to be huge for Doomsayers later.
Yeah.
We see the
Uh,
double anti-heal bot, which means it's most likely not some sort of combo lock, just like a standard hand
you
lock,
don't.
which it's actually not enough if No Stam can play around the heal bots correctly. And it looks like he has the freedom to. Like if you can see the board right now, he has full control. He's getting in all this free damage from the 2/2s, and there's no pressure at all on him from a giant or something. So he has all the time in the world. So he probably will have the option to play around, to just very carefully play around anti-heal bot and Lotheb. Which
You don't like
means like,
the double owl in this matchup.
oh, I do like.
Or
Oh, does he have double L? I don't know. I
yeah.
don't even know if he has it yet. Um, but yeah, double heal bot, Lotheb, double owl. I still don't think it's enough if you don't have the giant early enough. So see, he has no pressure. And usually, if you're playing freeze mage, you can kind of just take your time. You're like, all right, after heal bots, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll Alex him after he heal bots the second time or the first time, and then I should be good. I have this Frost Nova just ready if he tries to Lotheb me, because he's not forced to use any of this early.
Hmm.
And he got so much damage in, like he's already at 15, so the heal bots are like not enough.
Yeah. And Healbot's pretty expensive mana-wise, at least. So on turns where you're developing Healbot, you're not really doing much else, and you sort of have to, like you said, get those giants out early, get the pressure out early. Letting the freeze mage sort of have their way with the game is just asking for trouble, asking to die. And those early creatures actually get in for a lot of damage. Just the loot hoarder and the mad scientist each hit
Yeah.
for like 6 damage apiece, so they turn
Oh,
into
I think they're
fireballs
more than that.
effectively.
They were alive the whole time. Yeah. Um, I kind of would have liked him see. He had so much time. He could have been a little bit greedy with that acolyte and just like played his other secret, got it out of his hand, and then got the guaranteed acolyte ping. But as long as this doesn't get owled, it's fine. He has his Doomsayer, so maybe he wants to test for that second owl as well. But at this point, you have to start worried for your Doomsayer. You have to start worrying about things like Shadow Flame and just Hellfire Dark Bomb or Siphon Soul. So he's probably going to want to save. Like against a Druid, you can do a 2 Doomsayers in 1 turn, but against a
Hmm.
Handlock, it's generally better just to freeze Doomsayer. So you don't Doomsayer until you have your second one. So you freeze Doomsayer 2 turns in a row, and even if they don't both go off, it'll slow down the Handlock a lot.
Yeah. Well, he does draw into the Archmage Antonidas, so I mean, he didn't really even really need it because he had
Yeah,
so much burn damage in his hand already. Now he just has to be able to survive to make it through until he can get out that amount of damage.
yeah.
Get a
He's
board
thinking
clear.
about the Frost Nova for just a second, so he can get one of the secrets up. But then he realized he's like, no, I don't need the Frost Nova now. I'll save it for either a Lotheb turn or just a more mana efficient turn if I do want to play my secrets. So he did the Blizzard Doomsayer, very mana efficient. And there's actually no good answer. So Shadow Flame takes off like he loses half his board if he Shadow Flames. He doesn't want a Hellfire. He's gonna tap and he's probably gonna be forced to Shadow Flame. He doesn't want to tap either.
Yeah, you mentioned a lot of lists only run 1 owl now, so it makes it so some of your matchups are more consistent across the board. But this is one of those matchups where you love to have those owls because there's acolyte of pains, and if they get
Definitely. Yeah,
a
even Scientists. If they're
yeah,
trying to
if they
burst
get
him
a
down a little bit.
Doomsayer out on your board and you have a big board, if you lose that momentum, sometimes that just loses you the game right there.
Yeah, just that Shadow Flame hurts. Like normally Shadow Flame's okay, but his board, that was half his board. Really rough.
Yeah. And he doesn't really have enough mana to do anything else. He's afraid to life tap, so he just Shadow Flames and passes over his turn.
Yeah. He's like one off lethal with the
Yeah.
ping there. So he can afford to just play it slow and wait. I wouldn't mind just seeing double secret ping. He does not need to freeze this board.
Hmm. And also, he only has that one freeze left. And you talked about it that Frost Nova is so important in this matchup because it's the only freeze that you can get through Lotheb. And you know they're going to run Lotheb, but you know they're going to have a big board at some point. So
Yeah, plus he's got that Antonidas. So even at this point, just an Antonidas Frost Nova, just get the one fireball is awesome because like then your opponent has to deal with the 5/7, and you saw that he doesn't have Siphon basically, and he might have to burn another Shadow Flame if he even runs it. So there's no
yeah,
owl.
yeah, not looking too good. This is sort of similar to the last matchup, but Serp the Terp is in the position where it feels like he's flailing just a little bit. He's just going to throw out the first heal bot, so he's going to get out of range of some of this burn. But again, the hand from Nostrum is just super solid. He's got the Archmage Antonitis, he's got the freeze, he's got ways to be able to draw into the burn that he needs.
Yeah, so it looks like Archmage is the best option. He could go for an Arcane Intellect, but this way he locks down the board and he gets a threat on the board.
So how do you come back here if you're Serp the Terp?
It looks like there's no direct answer to Antonitis, so he's probably just going to go for the Loatheb. And will he Healbot or just Belcher? He could save the Healbot to be a little more sneakier, because if he does Healbot now, he's really vulnerable to an Alex. But I think he's pretty sure that Nostem doesn't have Alex.
Yeah.
But it looks like he wants to pace out his anti-Healbot, get it on more of a tricky turn, I guess.
Whoa, the Emperor Thorson drawn with nearly all burn spells in his hand. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. On your Loatheb turn, you're looking for a way to spend your mana, like not without spells, and that's the perfect way to do it.
Yeah. He's thinking about it, though. Is he thinking about maybe trying to take something off the board? Is he counting up damage? Is he afraid that he might get his block popped? What is...
Yeah,
wow,
he might feel like
Fireball.
he needs to generate at least one spell off this Antonitis.
Just doing the math in his head?
Yeah. It's actually... he can afford to go either way. So once you see the Loatheb down, that's really... you see a Loatheb and a Healbot, so now all you have to worry about is the second Healbot and a Draxus. And maybe he feels like with the Loatheb down, he can just win with just a few burn spells. It actually is a tough decision. So he has a second Ice Block, so he knows he has time. It's pretty tough, yeah. He goes for the Emperor. He feels like he has enough burn.
Yeah. Alright. Is it ping the face indication of anything, or is it just saying I'm probably never going to kill this board unless I get a Doomsayer, so let me just ping the face to try and get some burst in? Try and get some damage in.
Yeah, exactly. You're just going to freeze the board a few times or ignore the board with your Ice Block.
Yeah. And the one thing is, he is at a freeze. He does have a lot of burn, but he is at a freeze. So if he finds a way to deal with the board and anti-Killbot's up, does he have enough damage to kill him? He's got... Nah, he does have enough damage to kill him.
Yeah,
even to
if he
Healbot over
Healbot's
the
up to
next 3
30,
turns.
he basically has 30 damage, so...
Yeah.
Serp the Terp's going to need like a really tricky Jiraxis on some critical turn, but it's probably not going to happen with that Loatheb down.
Or maybe the old Earthen Ring Farseer.
Oh yeah, there should be a Siphon as well. Okay.
A Siphon,
so
yeah.
Either a Siphon or an Earthen Ring.
But he needs that in like the next 3 turns. One of those.
Yeah, it looks like he's already way too far behind. He missed the Giant in the beginning, and that just gave Nostem like 5 free turns. And not only is it free turns, but like if you get a Giant down early, then Nostem's forced to like fit freezes in his early turns, which means he doesn't get his draws as early as possible, and his turns are just far less mana efficient.
Yeah.
Okay, so he has so much option. Oh, is it just lethal? He just,
okay. There's actually multiple options for lethal. He could have Fireball, Frostbolt, Ping. He could have Blood Mage Thalnos, Fireball, Frostbolt. Like, there was actually like 5 different ways for him to kill him just with his hand. So
okay, yeah, he's probably going over all those options when he did play the Emperor. He's like, oh hey, I have like 3 different combos here.
And killing with Pyroblast is the most stylish way to do it. So that's how he had to finish that game off.
Only if it's golden, which is very expensive. I didn't notice if he had the golden one or not.
I think most of his deck was actually non-golden.
Oh man, I don't know if I can prove that.
If you min-max, it's actually better unless your whole deck is... Well, not the whole deck, but individual card-by-card basis, because then your opponent can track. If you lose and you played 1 golden and 1 non-golden, your opponent can realize that, okay, he has 2 copies of that.
Yeah, that's true.
If you want to min-max.
like slight benefits.
Yeah. But it's going to be tied up 1-1. Remaining decks for both these players. They both have Warlocks, and Nostem still has Warrior remaining, and Serp the Terp still has Hunter remaining.
Yeah, so I'm guessing Nostem is going for the anti-handlock strategy, which means he's running a type of handlock that's going to lose to the Hunter.
Yeah.
And then his Warrior will probably beat the Hunter, but basically they're both going to beat the handlock. We'll see if I'm right here, if it's just some sort of anti-handlock handlock. It's actually a mid-range hunter.
Handlock?
Yeah. A mid-range hunter is going to be good news for Nostem. It's not a full-face hunter.
Yeah. You like that matchup better if you're the handlock player?
The thing is, you have to know because sometimes you do something dumb, like you're like not dumb, but like something inefficient early when you want to make like long-term plays where you just make like the short-term just protect my face plays.
Yeah.
Whereas maybe if you know it's mid-range, you got to fit in just a few more taps. Maybe you have to like slam a Sylvanas,
Hmm.
and then like before us, like normal Sylvanas isn't that great against Face Hunter, but it's amazing against mid-range hunter if you get it down like before their Savannah, for example. But
Yeah.
he doesn't have a read at all here on what it is.
Yeah. It's this matchup. I've actually played a lot of this matchup from both sides on the ladder over the past couple days, and I don't have a good read on it
Oh,
because
this
I've heard
play. He
I've
just
heard
gave
some
away the web spinner though.
the web spinner. Yeah, so he
Yeah.
knows it's mid range. A lot of people say that the mid range hunter is actually favored since I can like build up a big board and then kill you in a single turn, as opposed to face hunter, which do like a consistent like medium amount of damage to you every single turn, which opens up bigger windows for you to like molten giant. As far as just the matchup in general goes, for mid-range hunter, when you know it's mid-range hunter, what do you think?
Yeah, so the main thing with mid-range hunter is you have a chance to miss your early curve, like a much higher chance to miss your early curve. Whereas face hunter, you're almost never going to miss your early curve, and you will lose occasionally to like molten plus healbot plus probably two taunt givers at least. But other than that, you'll win. Whereas mid-range hunter, you have a big chance of just losing just because you have a bad early curve and they play a giant before you can do anything meaningful. But Sukapan had a pretty decent start. I mean, Knife Juggler, Haunted Creeper doesn't get much better than that. But as you can see, he did lose control of the board. And since he's not a face hunter with things like he does have an owl, but he doesn't have any chargers.
Yeah,
So actually, oh, sorry, the names got switched. It's not
yeah,
Sukapan.
yeah.
It's No
It's
Stam
Surf the
versus
Turf. Yeah, yeah,
Serve the Turb. So
yeah.
he already lost the board, which is what happens when you play mid range. But he like got in damage like he was a face hunter, but now he doesn't have like the same kind of reach.
Hmm.
So now he's trying to gain back the board rather than seeing the silence on the Belcher, which you normally see. So we see the silence on the. Although I wouldn't have minded seeing the owl bow on the Belcher,
Hmm.
like the same play, but let the Twilight Drip get frozen.
Yeah,
That was interesting. But he's playing for. He's trying to control a little bit because he has like very high value cards like Doctor Boom Beast.
he got the beast off web spinner.
Yeah, he normally just gets wrecked by Big Game Hunter, so I'll play the Doctor Boom first rather than give him the. Oh, okay.
Now he wants to clear first.
Okay,
I
so
mean,
now he's clearing the Belcher.
clearing the
but-
board is good in this matchup just because you sort of want to always have. It feels like you always want to have the board, and so that you
Yeah.
can make big turns with like Doctor Boom, and they're more impactful when they actually do end up coming down.
Yeah, I felt like he needed to prevent the Healbot bounce too, which isn't that big of a deal in this matchup as much as Face Hunter, but probably
Yeah.
the right choice to just make it very difficult for your opponent to play around freezing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's huge.
That
Two
is
BGH targets in hand. So I'm
really great.
gonna say he's gonna be willing to break his bow to protect his two BGH targets.
Yeah, because he does not want to get that freezing trap. And in a way, you can kind of say, well, he didn't play anything big on turn 7, so maybe he doesn't have Doctor Boom, so I can play BGH safely now.
Oh,
And he's
yeah.
thinking also, I want to have an easy way to deal with this freezing trap. So let me just throw out this BGH. He's not going to waste his bow charge to kill my BGH, but little do you know.
Oh, man. Okay. Imp Gang boss. I don't know if that's going to do it, but we do see the double power in the Faceless, which means he's probably playing Arcane Golem.
Yeah.
That's 24 damage burst. So that's lethal. And he does have 10 mana, if he can find it. That's not it. Yeah, so this looks more like Zele's combo lock from way
Yeah,
back
just
when. with
straight up combo lock, yeah.
yeah, with the Siphons and the Black Knights.
Yeah.
I'm a little upset about that Siphon.
Gets the Finkel. So it's called Finkel Ironhorn? Yeah.
Oh man, that's... Yeah, he's really looking for that Arcane Golem.
Yeah,
That tap was a little bit... I guess, yeah, no, tap was right.
Yeah, so the double power overwhelming indicates Arcane Golem, whereas usually like single power overwhelming indicates the Leroy combo since you
Yeah, I
just
mean,
want
even
to
with a
look
single
for.
powerful Wormling, some people like Arcane Golem still, so you don't have to like rely on Emperor. Or if you do get Emperor, maybe you could fit in something like a Dark Bomb, but
Yeah,
the Leroy just gives you a little bit more damage, and plus you're not always, you don't even have to use the combo with that deck. You can just power a creature and then Leroy later, or just Leroy power,
yeah.
stuff like that.
Use it as like a Shadow Flame buffer, like to
Oh yeah,
maybe
that
like
too.
turn an owl into a bigger Shadow Flame target or something like that. Well, this board is really annoying to deal with.
Yeah, he's actually pretty far behind now.
It, and this combo lock doesn't really have as many defensive tools as normal hand lock. Usually at this stage in the game, once they've like removed everything and run you out of cards, they are hoping to have drawn into their full combo already.
Okay. So Owl, Liak, Emperor is the most defensive play? I
Mm-hmm.
lost track of what cards on the far left. Oh man.
Hellfire.
Okay. That's not useful.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's a lot of damage staring at him on board. He'd be lethal on board. Whoa! Okay, he's gonna implosion.
Okay, I guess this guarantees a bomb won't hit him in the face, pretty much.
Yeah, he's only used one kill command though, right? He used the one kill
Yeah,
command on
so
the
3
Belcher. So
damage
kill
off
command off the
lethal.
top. Yeah, 3 damage. Quick shot,
Bow,
bow,
quick
kill
shot,
command,
unleash.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's not Face Hunter, so I would be pretty confident if I was the Warlock that I'd live one more turn.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's saying there's very few things that only do 1 or 2 damage. It would be just Explosive Trap, Glaive Zuka, which probably hasn't played, and Abusive Sergeant, and Houndmaster. So pretty much just Houndmaster, because those other cards are less common. So
Yeah.
probably a good call to tap there.
And he knows that he doesn't have to worry about like Wolf Rider or King Golem since he's pretty much been able to see that this is pure mid range, especially with the Doctor Boom.
I wonder, is there a Leok lethal next turn if everything lives? So if he facelesses the Leok, that's 6, 7, 8. Oh no. It would be 16 total.
That's creative.
So now that he full traded in, maybe he can go for like a Belcher faceless if he doesn't get it.
Whoa, that's
Or that
a pretty good
faceless.
draw.
Yeah. Really solid.
Yeah. He's going to be able to... The double 5 drop, it's just super strong play. And Freezing Trap is probably not the draw you wanted to see, especially since there's a heal bot on board.
He can't even use it, because he can't kill the heal bot.
Yeah.
He can bluff, maybe. He can bluff it as... No, there's no good bluffs anyways. Okay.
Yeah. The
So I don't even
explosive,
think
he
you
would
play
just...
it.
Yeah. Just hold
Although
on to
maybe...
it.
Okay, maybe heal... Okay. If he heal botted for 7 mana, then he would still take... Okay, so he'd still take 2 damage, but yeah.
Yeah. Alright, well, he's going to be able to clear the board and basically start from scratch with an Emperor, which is pretty strong. So...
Yeah, so maybe actually freezing was the correct play. Even though they heal, you'd be in a better position than you are now. So I think freezing would... Oh, okay, maybe not. Maybe not with this kill command. He has 1 turn, basically.
So he has to draw into just a single point of damage next turn, or else he's probably going to die, because there will be lethal... Yeah, all he would have to do is just... Oh no, that's a freezing trap, that's right.
Oh, he tapped, though. See, now he's dead. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That was a really bold tap. I mean, I can understand he wants to get close to that combo, but so many things kill you.
Oh, wrong order.
Yeah, I can't even
Black
play
Knight there.
Oh no.
Oh, I liked his other tap when it was the difference between, you know, nothing does 1 to 2 damage pretty much compared to all the things that do 3. But this tap seemed a little bit crazy. Oh, okay, it doesn't work. Okay, cool.
Okay, okay. I thought it was the same as BGH. Black Knight's just been out of the meta for so long, I just can't even remember what it even does anymore.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm trying to think if that freezing was better, because he did hold it and it did make sense, but okay. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, we weren't expecting to take that one anyways, and So it is the Arcane Golem lock, which should be good against handlock. Should that be Serp's? Yeah, we saw it is handlock. So no stem should be still in a great spot. I'm guessing his warriors double brawl, maybe an owl, but even just double brawl Ysera, it should be enough to beat handlock most of the time. Pitching
All right.
everything.
Yeah, both players pitching everything away. So we're gonna get fresh hands here. Looking for the threats, especially handlock versus handlock. First, if you don't hit threats and your opponent does, it's just too hard for you to catch up.
Yeah.
Oh, and actually, this is not even like handlock. This is combo.
Oh yeah,
lock.
the Black Knight should be huge. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no stam is gonna be. Okay, so how does no stam lose this? He loses this by not being able to deal with something like an Emperor, by losing the board, which is possible since there's the Mountain Giant. But here's the BGH. So it's going to be really hard to lose this. So he's going to play the Twilight Drake. He's going to have the Big Game Hunter to back it up. Soap the Turp's going to need a Owl, but he can't even really tap here unless he's willing to burn something.
Mm-hmm.
And the Void, the lone Voidwalker, I don't know if he's going to be doing much.
That's like the anti-aggro tool. It feels that was always put into. It was put into that 1 week where Darquanix won, like the Legendary Series with his new combo lock with Demon Heart.
Yeah, it's basically a zombie Chow, but without the heal backfire, which is a big deal for the combo lock deck.
Yeah. Wow, such a.
But I guess that's a really cheap. It's a really cheap Shadow Flame too, with the Voidwalker power Shadow Flame. If you have to do it, it's a little better than a Watcher Shadow Flame.
Yeah, and it's not like as worse of an early game tool as an anti-aggro tool than Watcher can be sometimes. If you don't have an activator.
All right.
It's got every answer. He's got
Quite a lot of damage already. Yeah.
And he doesn't even have. You just play Emperor here and just try and open up opportunities for next turn. But like the rest of his hand is just so reactive. He doesn't have any of the threats.
Yeah, no stem is like 1 damage off lethal. If there's no taunt. Okay, so there's a taunt. But that's actually going to hurt because now he can just develop a AoE resistant board again with the Twilight Drake.
Yeah. And he's not going to get as much Emperor value out of it when it finally does come down. Because he's just scared of what would happen if he let that board go with no taunts up.
And there's the Mortal Coil to perfectly kill the Belcher. Oh, he's got another one. Alright. Yeah, Drake tap if he can afford it. He has 10 cards though, right? Oh, he wants to get the Voidwalker down. He wants to just get more... I don't know what the Voidwalker accomplishes.
Well, it makes it so Power Overwhelming Hellfire is lethal the next turn.
Oh yeah, because he was 1 off the turn before, that's right.
Yeah, if he doesn't tap. So, if he's really calculating lethal, that gives him perfect lethal next turn.
Yeah, I think he is, because he counted before 1 off. When I counted it, he's like, alright, let's get the extra 1. And that should be it. Well played.
He knows.
Yeah, you know when you're playing against this deck. But you can't, there's no efficient way for him to play defensive, so he just has to Emperor.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really nice throwing out the Boardwalker to get perfect lethal like that.
Yeah, just getting such easy board control with the BGH. And the BGH, I think the deck plays 2, so it's not even that lucky, but then the BGH followed by the Black Knight, it's like, how do you clear the board when
Never.
they BGH and Black Knight? You're just too far behind. You're not going to get a Shadow Flame off, so...
They can leave you at 20 health for basically the entirety of the game because they know that all of their combos are going to bring you there. They can just seize the board and then never let go. It feels like Druid, but it less consistent against everything else, but better against Handlock because your combos can do more. And he plays just super reactive cards. It's a really cool deck. Really cool deck.
Yeah. Maybe I should have played that instead of the Lero version. It's okay. Alright. But yeah, so this warrior, I know you're a Control Warrior player, and how fun is it to play Control Warrior when you've teched its... Okay.
Oh, no. It's Patron.
Okay, but, I mean, if he brought Freeze Mage and Combo Lock, I have to believe he's running a BGH and an Owl, or an Owl in this deck.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I think BGH has become pretty standard across most popular Patron players. At least all the ones that I've been talking to have said that BGH is... Actually, I don't think the Rat put BGH in his.
Yeah, he has that really tight version that he's been working on forever though with the commanding shout, so it kind of makes
Yeah,
up for it.
yeah,
But and a lot of war group patrons have been trying the shield slam out a little bit, so they've been kind of the BGH. But I know Stam's like got this anti hand luck lineup. You got to have a BGH owl patron to finish it off.
yeah.
We'll see what text he has though. Nothing non-standard yet.
Well, at first, this matchup was Warrior players said that this matchup was nearly impossible, but I've heard differing opinions as time goes on, as players are starting to realize how to play against it better, especially now that players are taking in BGH and or Owl in their decks. They're saying that the matchup actually isn't as bad as a lot of Patron Warrior players were saying early on. So I've actually seen quite a few competitive Patron Warrior versus Handlock games where the Patron Warrior, even without commanding shout, wins.
Yeah, yeah, and it really depends on things like if the. It seems like the patron war is kind of sneaking past, like maybe like them not having the double hellfire, maybe missing a taunt giver or something.
Yeah, but that's Handlock. I mean, that's
That's true.
how
Yeah.
a lot of classes sneak past it.
Okay. Ooh, frothing would be ballsy. I don't think he's gonna go for it. Just like a simple execute. So he knows, he's pretty sure. Whenever you make your turn 4 play, you're already thinking about dealing with the Belcher. So he's like, how does he set up for a Belcher? Um, yeah, Acolyte's great because then he could Death Spite the first half if he needs to. And plus he has that Cruel Taskmaster.
Hmm.
Plus he knows his opponent's not going to Hellfire that. That's like kind of the nice thing about playing Patron is like, you can set up these boards that they really want to Hellfire, but they can't because they don't see a Patron in there.
Yeah, yeah. This matchup is one of those matchups where you never want to throw down the Frothing Berserker as sort of an on-curve thing. It's your main win condition, even above patrons. In a lot of matchups, you're looking to get big patrons and overwhelm them, but in this matchup, it's all about those Frothing Berserkers.
Yeah, although some people are starting, like Kit Kats is saying, on turn 4 before the Handlock's 4 drop, they'll throw
Yeah,
down a Frothing, but at this point, yeah, you can't throw it down at this point. It's just a complete waste.
yeah. Like
Um,
it's both of them. Whoa.
yeah, although anyone watching the EU Open finals that I casted last week remembers that I wish I could give this player a shout out because he played it really cool and like he beat this Handlock without Warsong, without Frothing, with just patrons and weapons basically, and maybe Grom. But the way he played, it wasn't like he was just kind of throwing everything against the wall. It was very calm, like baiting out the Hellfire. Okay, let's bait out the second Hellfire. Let's make him Hellfire on this turn where it's really hard to, and then let's just kill him. And it was like it looked really strategic and planned out. So it was really cool to watch that. And yeah, it was basically him just like he's like, okay, if you have Hellfire, you still have to do it on a really bad turn, and it's going to cost you a lot, and you're going to take the 3 damage, and you're not going to develop a ton. I'll just keep killing you. And it was really cool to see that.
Yeah.
But actually, No Stamp's got the Warsong double Frothing and the Dread Corsair, which is free. So we're going to see a huge burst turn. He's out of Executes and Owls, and okay, so Surf the Terp has to set up a taunt, but he's thinking, is this my last turn to Doctor Boom? It's like, do I need this offense and hope he doesn't have the Warsong combo?
Can he win with, since he won't have enough mana for both, can he win with just the Warsong Commander, Dread Corsair, Frothing Berserker next turn? I think he can if Dr.
I
Boom's
think he
played.
can if Doctor Boom comes down, and if you're Surf the Terp, you only have one taunt giver,
Yeah.
and you can't hit. You can hit the Watcher and the kind of weakened Mountain Giant, which I think is too safe. You know, if I was playing the Handlock, I'd be like, no, I need to get this. This is my only taunt giver. I need to hit 2 big targets with taunt. And I haven't seen Emperor from my opponent. I think I still have time. That's what I'd be thinking if I was Handlock. But you can see there's some hesitation where he's like, he's like, I might need to taunt here.
He's really thinking about it hard. He hasn't even drawn to that much of his deck. Oh wow, the Dr. Boom is
Yeah,
played.
he goes for the Doctor Boom. I don't blame him. You can't just taunt one thing and win
Yeah.
most of the time. You need to get double taunt. Plus, with the
So
Molten Giant, you kind of want to bait a little bit more damage, and then you're going to double taunt the Moltens. So I
yeah.
totally don't blame him here.
So this is, it should be
But
game.
yeah, is it
As long
enough?
as the as long as the boom bots don't hit the Frothing Berserker, he can Warsong Commander, Frothing Berserker for 6, play Dread Corsair and coin out Armorsmith and
Yeah.
that'll
He's got the
be
armor smith down. There's
9 targets on board. So that'll be a 11 attack Frothing Berserker plus 4 damage from the Death Bite, plus 3 damage from the Dread Corsair. So that should be lethal as long as the Boombots don't hit the Frothing Berserker.
okay. So he goes to face with the Dread Corsair first. Oh, is he gonna end up acolyting into something? No, he just acolytes face as well. Okay.
Yeah. And Armorsmith, I mean, this is such a low chance that these Boombots kill the Frothing Berserker, but there is a chance.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a 3 HP.
It killed it!
Oh man.
Unless Spectre Delay bugged out and
No, I think you're right. I think
we
we'd
got
see
the
the green.
attack in.
It's Serp. Look at Serp. Serp thinks
Yeah.
he's dead.
Yeah.
He's gonna be really happy in a second.
Wow.
Can he see? Oh,
Wow.
His hands went up?
Oh no, okay.
Oh wait, yeah, I
It
thought
was
you were
just
right.
a delay. Yeah, it was just the
I think he
green
clicked
went
it in
away,
so
but
fast,
yeah.
Okay. That was actually exciting. Yeah, people say the green messes it up, but it confused us. All right.
Yeah. Well, when you're actually playing, if the green goes away, you lost because you lost the attack there. But that he just attacked too quickly in to go for it. So that was Nostum taking that victory, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, we kind of misread his strategy. We thought it was an anti-handlock strategy, but he does manage to get the win against handlock with his patron warrior, and he didn't reveal if he had any special techs. Just a nice quick kill. Slurp the Terp waiting one turn to taunt up. I don't blame him. Said it would have been a Watcher Mountain Giant double taunt. Super weak. He probably would have just lost if he didn't pick up a taunt the next 2 turns anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a really, really cool game. And you could see Serp the Terp's face as he was reacting. You could tell the exact moment when the Boombot started going towards the Frothing Berserker. He was just hoping that it was going to do 3 or 4, but it did. So Nosum is going to move on to the first place match against either the winner of Hot Form and Sukipan. So that should be a good one. That one's going to be coming up next. We do want to give you guys a quick reminder. This whole tournament is brought to you by GEICO. And in order to support us, make sure you head over to geico.onog.gg. Of course, that's for One Nation of Gamers. You can get a quote from GEICO. You can also enter in a sweepstakes to win a official Team Solo Mid PC. I know everybody loves their TSM PCs. Almost as good as Templestone PCs.
Oh yeah,
no, just kidding. They're even better.
I mean, yeah, technically they are better. My PC is not good. It doesn't have a Templestone logo on it yet. Maybe if I put a sticker on, it'll make it better. But that PC is sick. It's like 6 core. I didn't even know that was a thing. I still only had 4, and I thought I was ahead of the times. Yeah, it's way better than my computer.
Yeah, well, make sure you head over there. Raffle. Hyped is going to head over there as well. He's going to try and win himself a TSM PC. And of course, none of this stuff, the $60,000 prize pool total across the summer circuit, none of that would be possible without GEICO. But we are going to go to a quick break before we jump into the next match between Hot Form and Sukipan. But don't go anywhere. More One Nation of Gamers summer circuit, the NA qualifier number 1, right after this. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the One Nation of Gamers Summer Circuit. This is the North American qualifier number one. We just finished the first semifinal, which was Nostum versus Serp the Terp, and Nostum was the one who took the victory of that, so he's going to move on, face the winner of the next match, which is going to be Hot Form from Root Gaming taking on Sukipan from Celestial. So these players, Hot Form, of course, people know him from his stream. Sukipan primarily plays on the Chinese servers. Doesn't have too many cards on North America, but he managed to get this far, so we'll see if he makes it further. I'm joined with Tempo Storm's very own George Hyped Maganzini. What'd you think of that first match, Hyped?
That was cool. We're seeing all these different warlocks these days. Not much zoo, but all different kinds of combo locks. Like just earlier today, I played against Zixo on a streamed match for Nvidia, and he was playing Malagos lock. I was playing the double Los Leroy lock, and then we just saw a combo lock, the old Zele combo lock. It seems like from Nose down there, pretty cool. And then it was the other guy playing Warlock as well. Oh my god.
Handlock.
Lost. Yeah.
Control Warrior and Mid-Range Hunter.
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting lost.
That was the last one.
Okay, so yeah, Sukipan's the one that only has just a few, two sections of Nax and the first section of Blackrock. So I don't think we're going to be seeing any crazy innovative decks here. I think we're just going to be seeing the basics. I'm guessing the Warrior's going to be Patron, the Rogue's going to be Oil, Emperor.
Patron you get from First Wing, right?
Yeah.
Because that's he says the only wing that he's bought is the first wing of Black Wings. Or
you know how I know that is because it Seat Story Cup. That's like when BlackRock was in progress, and just the first wing was out, and then if you got far enough, when the second wing came out, you could resubmit decks, and you had some early experimentation, like Orange brings something like Druid of the Flame. No one knew Flameworker came out, but no one knew how to make a Flameworker mage, so no one brought that, for example. But people did bring Druid of the Flame. No one brought Axe Flinger, but Frodan was the only person at the tournament to bring Patron Warrior, and people laughed at him. People laughed at him, but he was a prophet.
People also laughed at him because he didn't really win anything. So
actually, no, his Warrior got banned. If it didn't get banned, I thought it was Control Warrior. A lot of people brought Freeze Mage, they banned it. But had it not got banned, he might have wrecked some havoc if his Patron play was on point and his deck list was on point. I'm guessing it was one of the very early deck lists. I don't even remember what it used to happen.
Yeah. So we'll talk about what's on the line for these players. This is basically the top 4 players from the NA qualifier, sort of a continuation from yesterday. These guys are competing for GEICO points, and I'll explain GEICO points in a second. Hearthstone World Championship points, which of course everybody should know what those are. They give you to BlizzCon. And of course, real life dollars.
Yeah, and it is a qualifier in itself for a later tournament at PAX.
Yeah, and so there's 4 feature tournaments that lead into the PAX tournament. Each of the feature tournaments consists of the winners of the first 2 qualifiers from both EU and NA, so that's 4 players. The 1 player from each region with the most GEICO points, so the player with the most GEICO points from NA, the player with the most GEICO points from EU, who has not yet competed in a feature tournament, and then of course 2 invited players to make up for a total of 8. And then all that of course leads into the grand finals of the One Nation of Gamers Summer Circuit, which takes place at PAX. And that tournament alone has a $25,000 prize pool, I believe. So over the course of the next 2 months leading up to PAX on August 29th, I do believe, there's going to be tons of GEICO points, which means tons of World Championship points and $60,000 worth of prizes over the course of the next couple months. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
It's a lot of value.
Yeah, it's ridiculous amounts of value. The World Championship points alone, too, is like, I mean, the person with the most World Championship points right now is what, like 150?
Yeah, something like that.
Like a single player. And this tournament alone is giving 25 for every single qualifier, maybe even more.
Yeah.
And then over 200 for the finals at PAX. So this is one of the biggest circuits of the summer, if not the biggest circuit of the summer. I actually think it is the biggest circuit of the summer, with the scene right now being so chock full of tournaments, this one is the one that has the most room for players that don't already have a big name for themselves to compete and to make it in. So should
Yeah, it's
be
a lot of
really
open
exciting.
brackets, and then the GEICO points make sure that if you do good in the open brackets, you'll get invited back. So it's really
Yeah,
nice, really nice.
I'm gonna be competing every
I'm
week.
going
I
to be
know
competing as well.
Hype competed yesterday,
Yeah,
but of course because he's
didn't
here
make it
means
here.
he lost.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but there's tons of good players. Only a few advanced. But Hot Form is he's the most known player here, right? Actually, this Sukipan guy might be really big in China, and we're just now hearing of him.
yeah,
I mean, he's in Team Celestial, so he's got to be pretty good.
yeah. Um, and yeah, we it shows a couple of his accomplishments here. Just started playing in North American servers in May, and of course he hit Legend in May. But that's only been a month, so that just goes to show he doesn't have many cards on North American servers. He just started competing in open tournaments. So not having many cards and not having the availability to play a lot of different types of decks, being limited to a couple, means you can't like prepare for your opponents and like bring decks to counter your opponents. So he's pretty much just stuck with a certain couple of decks, and we'll see exactly what types of decks those are when we get into this matchup. Where Hot Forum, he actually streamed his way through the qualifier yesterday, and in the first round he had to play Phone Tap, which of course Phone Tap just won DSL Legendary Series Season 2 like a week ago. And so he's probably the most feared player right now because
Definitely.
just recently winning a tournament, and then he beat Tice on the way there as well. Um, and I think there was a couple others that he beat, but I don't quite remember them right now. But he streamed his way through, and it's really tough to make it to those open tournaments because sometimes you can get beat in an early round just because you didn't bring the right decks, or your opponent had decks that match up against you better, or you just didn't get your draws. And that's why it's really tough to make it all the way through, because you have to just be having a really good day with your decks, you have to be having a really good day with your draws, you have to be playing super well because you have to play consistent across like 8 wins. So it's a tough
Yeah.
thing to do.
Speaking of that, how decks line up, it's really going to come down to this Druid,
Hmm.
and also the type of Warlock. But this Druid, I'm really hoping he has Harrison and Ooze in there, as we can see the technically 3 weapon classes from Hot Form if he's playing Jiraxis. But
Yeah.
yeah, Ooze and Harrison just really shut down Paladin and Warrior. It's really going to come down to that. Hopefully it's
Yeah.
Harrison and his Warrior. Hopefully he's playing Control Warrior as well. Although I guess Patron's pretty good against Paladin as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Patriots getting it. There was some theory crafting going on
Okay, I'm
with.
interested.
You probably already heard about this because I heard it from Dan, where
Okay.
Paladins were thinking about putting Blood Mage Thanos in for Blood Mage Thanos Consecrate for like
Oh,
a 6 mana, like
yeah, I feel
Hellfire
like that's
type
just
thing.
something Frodan thought of. I don't know if that's a real thing. Yeah, I don't think
Well,
it's a real
there
thing.
was theory crafting going on, whether or not it was just Frodan or not. I didn't say there was theory crafting going on with pro players across the world. It was basically
Yeah.
just Dan and
Okay.
me.
Fair
Basically, what
enough.
Dan does is every week he'll just come up to me and say, "Hey, so I thought of this deck. You want to play best of 5 with these decks that I made?" And I'll be like, "Sure." And it's always like Mech Rogue, Dragon Shaman, just ridiculous things.
Alright,
All
so it
right,
looks like we're
well,
seeing the Malagos lock from
yeah.
Hot Form.
Hmm.
This might be my least favorite of all the combo locks, but I did lose to it earlier, so. Oh, and that's a great hand, too. He's got the Dragon to activate the Corruptor. Solid curve if he wants to coin.
Yep. Hot form rocking the Canadian flag as always.
Nice, nice. Goes with the turn 1 abusive. You gotta. Especially if you're not sure if it's Handlock or Zoo.
Yeah, you can't afford
Oh,
to
that curve
miss
is
that turn.
just. I think you still have to play the Flame Imp.
Ooh. Yeah, you play the Flame Imp, you're missing a tap. But yeah, I don't know if you can really afford to stop applying pressure that early. Hellfire is going to be a pretty good draw. Most likely, at some point in this matchup.
It looks like Hawthorne's going to be able to heal his Imp Gang boss if he wants to. It's probably going to be worth it. Oh, there's the Direwolf. Okay. But actually, do you think he's even going to trade into that?
If he trades into it, it just means that he's going to be left with a 1/1 that's going to trade into his Beast of Surgeon anyway.
Well, he's got the Mortal Quill, so he should be okay. I think
That's
he's
true.
got to trade the Mortal
Oh
Quill.
yeah, that's true. That's true. He's got three total mana.
Yeah, it's such a weak board. But actually, at this point, if you're Suki Pan, do you know what deck you're playing? It could be a Zoo with a bad draw. And most of the Malgus locks had cut the Imp Gang boss for, I forget what, but like Lead Paint originally, when he first debuted the Mally lock, the first thing he cut was the Imp Gang boss.
Yeah. And Hot Form actually, this seems like the exact same lineup he used. They have to use the same?
I am not sure. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, that is something that we will find out, but it seems like they do. Okay, yeah, it is the same decks from the qualifier. So, watching him on a stream yesterday, Sukipan had the opportunity to watch him if he wanted to know. So that's one disadvantage of streaming your matches is your opponents will know your decks,
Okay.
even without having to play.
Yeah.
But yeah, he can assume because Hot Form was playing these decks on the stream yesterday. But I mean, there always is the chance that he didn't watch, and there always is a chance that a Zoo Warlock could miss their first couple of drops and only have Imp Gang boss and just have a really slow curve. So maybe he doesn't.
Definitely. Okay, so I like this. Not playing into Hellfire too much, getting the egg down. Not really. He doesn't want to waste his. It would have been a really awkward Defender of Argus. Poor Sukipan has just a really bad curve, even though despite having a flame imp that he can't get down.
The Dark Iron Dwarf, bringing it back.
Okay, it could mean that it's more bursty deck. That's what the Rat was kind of going for. And he plays Dark Iron Dwarf because he favors more burst. You can't implosion face, and his deck had things like Dark Bomb for extra reach.
Yeah. He's playing the classic Zoo with Argent Squires and
Some Shattered Sun Clerics, maybe.
yeah. Maybe he's going way back and he put in some Shield Bears to the first iteration of Zoo.
Actually, it looks like the Defender of Argus is actually going to be pretty useful against Hot Form. Hot Form has a lot of instances of 3 damage, but nothing that does 4, so it's actually going to be really solid. Although those imps help. Okay, it looks like it's going to be it. Do you go for the Hellfire, or do you just get the Corruptor down while you have the mana? It looks like Corruptor will let you keep an Imp and a Corruptor, which is pretty good.
Yeah. And keeping the Corruptor in your hand sort of gets rid of Azure Drake as a play until you draw into another dragon.
Yeah. So get the value while you can, don't get locked out.
Yeah. Because Hellfire is sort of just a reset, and it
Although
looks like
actually,
he is going to go for Hellfire.
Now that I think about it, now he gets a clean Corruptor onto a creature, which should leave him in a even better position. Because the Corruptor should trade positively with whatever it lives, so he assumes Sukipan's going to play multiple creatures, probably just 2, and he assumes he's going to be able to Blackwing Corruptor 1, and then it's going to trade favorably with whatever it lives.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And that is going to be the case if Sukipan only plays 2 creatures. Oh, I feel really bad for his Sukipan. Look how bad his curve is just every turn. Maybe he can go for something like a Void Tear with one of the 1-drops. As awkward as that sounds, it might be one of his best plays.
He does have a golden Void Tear, though. I'm surprised he hasn't disenchanted that for Dust yet.
Yeah, it's only a rare. It's not that good. And look at it. It's like drooling. It's rabid.
Yeah.
I actually would like to see that. I would like to see him eat one of those creatures. So he's out of BGH range, and he bumps it up to 4 or 5 HP. Whereas at 3 HP now it dies to the Blackwing Corruptor. But I guess he's not thinking about Corruptor, and he just saw Hellfire, so he thinks he can do 2 creatures. But I wouldn't have minded like a 6/5 or a 5/4 if he ate one of the 1/1s.
Yeah, like eat the Leper Gnome.
Actually would have been pretty solid.
So you still get the damage out of it, and it plays around. But I'm not, like you said, not sure if he was expecting Blackwing Corruptor. It's good that he picks up the Zombie Chow as well, because he gets something else on the board that can contest whatever's going to come out. And he fits his
can take a value trade with the Argus, or he can go face. Takes the value trade. Makes sense. He figures he can finish off this Corruptor with Implosion next turn.
Yeah.
Hotform picking up another Corruptor. Hotform used to play Shaman a ton. I bet that's why he likes the Corruptors.
Yeah. It's the fire elemental replacement.
Yeah,
You go
did
to
you
the
catch
second Hellfire here?
Yeah, with the same logic that you can maybe get back on board with the Corruptor later, but Corruptor's pretty good here. Corruptor on the Flame Imp, trade into the Leper Gnome. You're still really high HP. I think you can even fit in a tap if you go that route.
Hellfire allows you to keep your first Corruptor alive, and you can
Oh, it is a
swing it
5
for
1 now that you
5.
mention it. Yeah, okay, that's
Yeah.
pretty good. This puts the BGH on the board. Figures Mal'Ganis isn't a big deal here. Sea Giant's not a threat either.
Yeah. And he actually sets up lethal for next turn because he's got 9 damage on board plus 3 from the Corruptor, so he can actually kill him next turn if he doesn't deal with what's on the board. We know that he has Implosion, and most likely he's going to use it, but...
Yeah, really solid play, though.
You were asking if I caught something?
Oh, if you caught what kind of Paladin he played earlier, because Hotform he's kind of a Paladin innovator. He made the double lay on hands, Sky Golem, Kel'Thuzad, Control Paladin that Savitz used to play a lot.
He was playing Kel'Thuzad,
okay,
but I wasn't really paying attention to the rest. It seemed pretty normal as far as normal goes, but yeah. Oh wow, this is super weird. This is tough for him to deal with because he's used both Hellfires and there's 6 imps. He can kill him one by one.
Yeah, it's lethal with Mal'Ganis. It's lethal with a lot of things with Evasive, but he would want to have the board room if he draws in something like Doomguard, although I guess he could sack it, so... I think if you're hot... Oh, okay. That is probably white throughout the first big game hunter.
Yeah, he's got the second one ready.
Oh, Direwolf would be really nice here.
There's the Arden Squire. So it is sort of the...
okay. Old school.
Old school, yeah. Wouldn't be surprised to see that Shattered Sun Cleric. This seems like the zoo from like BlizzCon last year, except with implosions added, and probably like Mal'Ganis on the top end.
Yeah, probably a Sea Giant in here too with the Argent Spire.
Oh yeah, that's very true. Very true. And again, this is super annoying because he just can't deal with those Haunter Creepers. They're gonna peck in for damage here, and Azure Drake's not the best draw because he already had one. He's got to find a way to get
through 9 mana with all these 5 drops.
So he might have to heal bot here because there's a lot of draws off the top that just kill him. There's Powerwhelming, Doomguard. So many draws that would just come right off the top that would kill him.
Yeah, if he heal bots, he'll probably tap first. We're all fairly even. So he has 1 Shadow Flame. If we were to Azure Drake, he could draw 1 Shadow Flame. I think he has 2 Mortal Coils left and 2 Dark Bombs. So there's about 5 good draws, but it looks like he's got like over 15 cards. So it's a 1 in 3, and there's a higher chance he dies, I think, off the top decks, like you mentioned, Powers, Doomguard.
Yeah.
So I think he has to go for either the Corruptor or the Heal Bot here. And I kind of like Heal Bot because it lets him tap, but maybe... Okay, no tap. Heal Bot, no tap. Okay, maybe this makes more sense.
And throws out the BGH to contest. Now he doesn't have a way to deal with Sea Giant or Mal'Ganis if it comes down, but he's willing to take the risk because he can't really afford to just throw out a 3/3 and hope that he lives. Anoyotron, whoa!
Anoyotron is actually really popular on Chinese server. Our new member, Eloise, she's always posting Chinese decks in our chat, and Anoyotron's a frequent include in things you wouldn't expect it, like Face Hunter. For example, Midrange Hunter, Anoyotron. Just a solid anti-aggro card.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It actually is really annoying to get through. It seems like it would be able to protect high priority drops.
Oh yeah, I was against the zoo. All he had on the board was a Doomguard, and I had like a full board of small stuff, and I just threw down the Anoyotron. He couldn't get through it. Okay, so now Hotform's got a lot of HP to work with. I don't think he needs the Owl, so he can go ahead and Azure Drake first.
Yeah.
Okay, second heal buckets. He's got to be feeling pretty safe now.
Yeah, he can throw down Blackman Corruptor, and then there's nothing that kills him off the top, and then he has heal bot for the next turn.
Yeah, unfortunately. Okay, yeah, just corrupted the squire.
Yeah. Then he has Owl for that Defender of Argus Haunted Creeper, which is probably the best target for it. But I really like Blackening Corruptor here. It seems like the best of the 5 drops to use in this situation.
Yeah, it
If
seems
you
like
take
Azure Drake's a bit too greedy. Just get the Fire Elemental
yeah,
proc now.
if you take out 2 damage, he only has 6 damage on board, which means you have 8 health to work with. So we would have to top deck like exactly power overwhelming tap Doomguard in order to kill you.
I bet
So
Hawthorne's really afraid of like Sea Giant Mal'Ganis. Now he kind of didn't think he'd live this long with the BGHs, but they did keep him
yeah,
alive. And
yeah.
now Sea Giant.
Whoa.
I wonder what that is about.
I mean, I guess it gives him more room to tap the next couple turns. I'm not sure, or maybe he feels like he might kill him. Like if he top decks like a
Is there some sneaky thing with the owl and the corruptor that we're not seeing? I guess it would all be just Shadow Flame, something involving Shadow Flame.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if the Azure Drake lives, which probably won't, and he top decks Soulfire, he can kill him.
Yeah, that was a really weird heal bot. I don't. I guess I didn't do the math on everything. Yeah, I guess he was.
I have no
Maybe
idea.
he feels. Maybe he just feels he's far ahead now, and he can play safe
Yeah,
as safe as possible.
yeah. I'm trying to justify it, but I really just don't know.
I think that's it. I think he just thinks he's gonna win, as long as he doesn't die that turn. But like I said, he should be worried about Sea Giant Mal'Ganis.
Hmm. Wow, the 6 mana Mortal Coil. Yeah, it looks like this turn's going to be Azure Drake into Blackening Corruptor. I don't think he really has much of a choice. Whoa, there is the Soulfire.
Okay.
It would have been 1 card away in that situation, but his Azure Drake wouldn't have lived, so he wouldn't have been. Actually, yeah, he would have. He could have Blackening Corruptor and Soulfire if he didn't get Loatheb.
Okay.
And now he uses Drake. I think that might have been a mistake. You can't get the Blackening Corruptor Battlecry anymore.
Oh.
Because he uses
I
Dragon.
didn't even see that, yeah. I was like, why isn't he just Corruptor?
He actually did this like 3 times yesterday, too, when I was watching. Sometimes you don't think about it. You're like, oh, draw
Yeah,
first.
it's ingrained to draw first.
Yeah. Now you got to rethink it. And now this is tough because he was planning on picking off that Knife Juggler, I'm sure.
Definitely.
Because that's a pretty big deal, that Knife Juggler, because that represents a lot more damage than just 3. Because he can trade in Haunted Creeper, he can play whatever creatures he has on board.
Alright, so the only way Hotform doesn't win next turn is if a Mal'Ganis comes down. So he's thinking if he has to save that Owl, or if he can afford to say Owl the Knife Juggler to prevent 1, maybe 2 damage. Because he could die to something like Power on... Okay. He's 9 off lethal, so if he powers the spiders, and then gets a Doomguard and gets some Knife Juggles, I think that might be lethal. I don't know what that accomplished. I'm not sure what the Noichan does.
Yeah.
I wonder... I can't figure out what he's playing around with that. Just wants to make it seem like... Huh.
Yeah. He's got to know what this deck has, so there's no way that he's going to tap in this situation. Especially since he's got a full board anyway. If he taps, he's dead.
I keep thinking that the... I'm dumb. I keep thinking that he was just gonna corrupt her so far next turn, but he can't corrupt her.
Nope. If he draws into a dragon, he can. I mean, there's a lot of dragons still left in this deck, I'd assume.
Yeah, I was just thinking he was trying to set up the corruptor Soulfire, but he doesn't have.
Yeah, usually it's what? Twilight Drakes, Azure Drake, Malagos. So he's got Malagos plus 2 Twilight Drakes left. So he has to tap
both the Soulfires. He has so he has a second Soulfire, but that's risky. And he also has some Dark Bombs, I think.
Yeah, so he's actually got a lot of ways to win here. A dragon,
Malagos, Dark Bomb. There's the Malagos. Okay. What better way to do it?
Yeah, you can even. Oh no, you can't. It doesn't have a mana. I was gonna say you could even Mortal Coil for, but that would be a bad idea because they wouldn't have enough mana. But Hotform is gonna take the first game and he's gonna take it with style, and he's gonna beat the Warlock mirror, but not really a mirror because.
Yeah.
Wait, Sukupan's decks are wrong.
Okay. That's what they were before. Oh, is it on the document?
Yeah, because that was Warlock, and it says he has Druid, Rogue, and Warlock.
Oh, okay, it's just Warlock for Warrior.
Yeah.
But the other two are correct.
on the website his decks are correct. Like he played Warlock, Druid, and Rogue yesterday.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. He might have been communicating and abbreviated Warlock as War.
I do that all the time, and the tournament organizer always asks me.
Yeah, so...
It's like, Warlock is WL. War is Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it works.
Yeah, or War and... No, what? That doesn't make sense. I used to say Lock.
Yeah. Okay, I say WL. It's easier to type.
Yeah. All about that efficiency.
Definitely.
Alright, well this looks like it's going to be Ancient Warrior from Hot Form, taking on, once again, the Zoo Warlock from Sukupai. A little bit interesting Zoo Warlock. It's got classic elements with Argent Squire, with Dark Iron Dwarf, but it also has some of those interesting Chinese flares, like the Anoyotron. So, how do you like this matchup?
It really depends. Zoo needs to, it's kind of like the old Miracle Road versus Zoo. Whereas if the Zoo has to win by turn 5, 6, 7. Otherwise, like, the combo starts going off. So for example, just like Warsong Patron, if that gets on the board, it full clears the board and you just win. Even things just like Warsong Frothing could clear the board a little bit with Whirlwind.
Mm-hmm.
And as we can see, Sukupan's start is not very aggressive at all. I'm surprised he didn't go for the Juggler there, because you really need to win fast. But I guess he figures with the Creeper he wants to get those free juggles in.
Yeah. If playing against Zoo, I think, is one of the toughest tests for a patron player, not for the deck, because you have to find a really good balance between using your removal and early on to clear and saving some of those removal, which are also your combo pieces, for later on when you want to combo with Grim Patience or with Frothing Berserkers. So, what were you going to say? The deck is the player is the deck?
I was going to say, it's hard if you don't have weapons, which is the situation we're at.
Yeah.
If you get the Death Spite, you just win. But yeah, usually you can afford... Oh man, he's got 2 Patience. If you had a Warsong, you can kind of do whatever you want and just make it to turn 7 or 8, depending on if you have Emperor and Coin and whatnot, and you'll just win. But without the Warsong, he's probably a little scared to throw those out there. So he's probably planning on like a Warsong. I mean, he'll probably plan on like a Patron Whirlwind. Actually, now he has the option to Whirlwind right on 5 with the Death Spite. But he is going to take a lot of damage. And the Argus is going to buff the dudes out of Death Spite range. That's going to be pretty sick.
Yeah. That's actually going to be really sick. That's going to be super problematic.
Yeah, this is a horrible Death Spite swing.
He's going to have to use the second Whirlwind, like the Death Spite and Whirlwind. Cruel Taskmaster, I'm not sure if that really changes things. Actually, he can Armor Smith, so Death Spite, then Whirlwind, and then Cruel Taskmaster for a full clear. But then he's throwing away 2 of his Whirlwind effects, the second iteration of the Death Spite plus the Whirlwind, just to clear board. But I don't think he really has too much of a choice, does he?
Yeah, kind of. Well, what about just Patron swing and then Patron Whirlwind next turn, and then that way maybe you get some knife juggles into your guys?
Oh yeah. Well, it also makes it
you can
really
trade the
easy
knife
for him
juggler
to
into
just
the
trade.
big one, yeah.
Yeah.
But he loses a lot of power, and the longer the game goes on, the more it goes in the Warrior's favor, especially with that Armor Smith.
You do have your second Grim Patron, but you don't really have any other way to act. Yeah, I don't know. This is pretty tough. Yeah, it looks like he was going to go for second Whirlwind.
Okay, more defensive. This is totally fine, because, like I said, if you live, you win.
Yeah.
But we're going to see some really solid follow-up from Sukupan here with Loatheb into Doomguard.
Yeah. And the opts to keep his Armor Smith healthy, as opposed to allowing it to take some damage but gaining some health. I mean, it would have been like no health. The maximum he could have gained would have been like 3, and that would have been his Cruel Taskmaster at 1 and his Armor Smith at 2. So...
Alright, so able to full clear here, or just develop 2 Frothings. Goes for the double... Oh, okay, yeah. Full clears with a single Frothing. Keeps
He's taking a lot
up.
of damage, though. Oh my goodness. He's going to be 11
but it looks like
health.
Sukupan is going to have trouble finding the final reach. Especially with his Armor Smith. I mean, it's kind of like infinite HP with the Grim Patrons.
Yeah, that's true. Infinite.
Infinite. Yeah.
Hmm.
Although, so we see. Okay, actually, there's no war song. I keep forgetting there's no war song, so I guess it's not infinite yet.
Yeah. Has potential to be infinite, but it's not quite yet. Oh wow, he's gonna go for the
Oh, that's a
implosion.
ballsy play.
Oh, that's bold. Super bold.
I guess he's not too worried about his life right now. He just goes for it.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, he
execute
does have
doesn't
to
help
kill him
too
though.
much.
Maybe implosion on the armor smith would have been better.
Yeah. He can go for a pretty solid battle rage here. He's gonna get 3 cards out of it. This Frothing Berserker is going to die, but he can at least get 8 damage into the face with it before it goes down.
Yeah, it looks like Hot Form's stabilized. I don't know what Sukipan can draw to win. Power Doomguard? Because he can't even tap, so it has to be power. Actually, that's pretty good. They both live through
Yeah.
Patrons.
Yeah.
But that is actually one of the things you'd want. If you're playing Patron War, you would definitely want Double Flame In, which a lot of the like Void Caller Zoos have cut out.
But you're putting your health down to 15. That's dangerous.
For the near full clear.
Yeah. But that armor smith is just doing work. Oh. He just wants to get rid of the
Yeah,
imps.
deny like a whirlwind.
Yeah,
Like
or
that. And
deny
get the imps off the board.
patrons. Yeah, it's turn 8. He doesn't want those patrons to just bounce around. So, drawing second execute doesn't really do much. I mean, I guess he can execute a flame imp if he really wanted to. Execute on Doomsayer is nearly automatic, but I'd imagine he's just gonna set Death's Bite up here. Oh, yeah, I guess you could Acolyte of Pain because that would set up the flame imp. Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, it looks like Hotform's in a dominating spot just because he's got execute to deal with any big threats, and Celestio's just gonna, or sorry, Sukipan, wrote his name from the top. He's just gonna concede out. So Hotform takes a really quick 2-0 victory, and he's only got one win to go, and that's with Paladin.
Yeah, Paladin's great against Zoo. Although, actually, his version should be a little slower, so he has like the chance of just drawing Kel'Thuzad, Sky Golem, land hands, opening hand, and losing. But for the most part, with like if you get a muster mini bot, you'll just win.
I think he runs Zombie Chow.
Yeah,
So-
there's a muster already. Although he did get the rogue lineup, which is
Yeah.
pretty awful. It's gotten a lot better as rogues have been dropping Violet Teacher, sometimes even Fan from their decks, but it's still going to be an uphill battle. Keeps the SI agent without the coin or any activation. It's a little.
They actually kept Thor's
kinda
hand.
bad. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. You got to take some risks to win this matchup. You got to do something crazy, and the coin Emperor is pretty good. Because it's not, Rogue usually wants to sap on that turn, and he can't really sap it.
And since he kept an early drop, he knows that he's going to be able to stop some of whatever Sukipan's going to do with Muster for Battle, so he might be able to make room for Emperor. But yeah, I agree with the whole part about taking risks in unfavorable matchups.
All right, Sukipan deciding if he can get the Blood Mage down for free and then daggered Blood Mage into a 2-drop next turn, so it's probably worth it. He's just thinking if he wants to maybe save it for like a Flurry or Fan later. He decides to save. He values the spell power, or maybe he just wants a way to combo the SI7 agent easily.
Yeah. So, I know you were talking about you're probably one of the players that plays the most Rogue across the professional scene. What's the go-to Rogue list right now?
It's been on the NA servers. It's usually a lot of people have been tucking in. BGH has become almost standard, although Sniped Again was playing BGH and he took it out right when he hit rank 1. So a lot of people have been using his list, which is South Sea is definitely a must right now. Oskaka is the only one not playing it, and I think that's a mistake. South Sea is definitely standard. Phantom Knives is 1 to 2, depending on how many tech cards you want to fit in. So that's a frequent cut, which makes this matchup a little bit worse. And most people have been playing no Violet Teachers, and if they do play, it's only 1, favoring Shredders. just for more, so you can kill them on a turn earlier. Whereas if you have the bot teacher on the board, sometimes you're not going to kill them that one turn you want to. But with the South Sea and the Shredders, you kill them a little bit earlier, and you get easier flurries for like things like Patron, and then you have the BGH for Handlock, and it's also great against Zoo. And then a few people have been doing Harrison, and almost everyone runs Healbot now as well. Those are the main tech choices.
Why
And a lot of people,
Because
yeah,
it allows you just to combo Tinker and
yeah,
proc
it
freezing
gives you
traps.
just the easier flurries against Patron. You get to kill Handlock a turn earlier. They don't have as much freedom with like taunts and tapping. And
Yeah.
then the freezing trap is one of the main ones.
Yeah. All right. Well, Coin Emperor seems pretty enticing here. Coin Emperor into turn 6 Doctor Boom.
Yeah, no direct response.
Doctor Boom is one of the toughest cards for Rogue to deal with. A lot of times, Rogues deal with it either by, like you said, teching in BGH or by sapping it, which gives them double the boom bots, pretty much.
Yeah, it's pretty rough in this situation.
Yeah.
You want to be ahead on board so they can't really freely play Doctor Boom. So you want to be like threatening oil on the turn that they want a Doctor Boom.
This would have been a great Thorsan turn for Sukipan, but if he does that, then he doesn't have any way to deal with the Emperor from Hot Form. And there's so many ways that he can get punished for it with, like, Peacekeeper.
Yeah, a simple like backstab would have done it for Sukipan, so he can get it down, but it's lacking that. I kind of like, this is one of the few situations where I think Sap is actually pretty good. You get a Piloted Shredder and a SI7 going into your opponent's boom turn, but you're always worried when you don't have the second Sap that you're just going to you lose to Tyrion.
Yeah. Because a lot of times you're having to take damage when you're going into Tyrion without a sap, and then you're also taking damage on the backswing with the Ashbringer. So, all right, well, it looks like that is the play that he's going to go with. A lot of times players will say, "Oh, don't sap Thorsan, you just play it again for instant value," but it's all about the tempo in this case.
Yeah, it seems to be his only option. And actually, you can see how hard that situation was for Sukipan. We should give a shout out to Hot Form for keeping the Emperor with the coin is what's probably going to win him the game if should he win this game.
Mm-hmm. Well, now he's sort of in a rough situation. Hot Form is, because he's just going to have to play a big drop here. He's going to hope that this Doctor Boom sticks. Going to hope that these boom bots can do some work. He's already at 20 health, so there's even a chance that he could die here if there was like prep. Actually, yeah, if there was just a prep oil or something like that, prep oil with Blade Flurry, then then I believe he'd be dead.
Yeah, he's probably doing some quick math too on like what cool combos you do with the Emperor next turn, but decided to just go with the boom for now.
Yeah.
Really relieved to see it nodding his head as he sees the sprint go off. But there is the oil flurry, and he doesn't need prep anymore. Actually, he can't afford it all if he wants to redagger without prep.
Yeah.
But the rogue at 28 though, and Hot Form has no taunt. He's going to be in trouble.
And Hot Form's going to be at 12 health if he decides to attack him with his dagger here. I don't even think he really needs to, because he can have lethal next turn. As long as one creature survives on board, even with only one charge of the dagger. Because he can dagger, oil, and eviscerate for...
Yeah, dagger, oil, eviscerate is 10 with no creature. 13 with the creature.
Yeah, so I agree with keeping the dagger
Actually,
here.
with that double deadly, he could have broken the dagger and done like, but maybe sometimes you don't want to break the dagger because it kind of makes it seem like you don't have lethal. But I mean, you just sprint it. Come on, you have like a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
But so he could just double deadly flurry for 10 and then Abyss for 8. So yeah, but either way, he doesn't have to dagger. So maybe he thinks that holding the dagger is a little bit more sneaky. Plus, something like a heal could come down.
Ooh, that's kind of rough. He wanted that SI7 to die because he knew he was going to kill it anyway, but he didn't want to have to use like Consecrate to kill it, so he has to trade the 7 damage in anyway. It's not that bad. He still gets the Boombot damage on face.
Yeah,
but he
this should be
have that
lethal here with the double deadly. Oh,
Yeah.
he even plays the South Sea too. So
Yeah.
probably, yeah, doesn't matter which way he does it.
He had lethal many different ways, or a
Go
few
for the
different
South
ways, I
Sea,
guess.
go for the tilt, the top deck.
Yeah. It's not going with the tilt option though. Just gonna go with the Blade Flurry and Eviscerate. But that's gonna be Sukipan taking his first win in the series. It's gonna be 2-1 now. But we sort of expected that result. That was hot form going into an unfavorable matchup with a slower deck, which is not what you want going into that matchup. So
Yeah, he actually put up a good fight with that Emperor. I thought it was almost enough.
mhm.
Wasn't quite there. And yeah, so the Coin Emperor was a big play from Hot Form, and then the Sap Emperor was a big play from Suki Pan, which a lot of people don't like to do almost ever. But we saw that it was a little shaky from there, but it turned out to be the winning play.
Yeah, all about the tempo. And it's also about getting the read on your opponent's deck because there's not that many plays that you're gonna make as a power play the next turn except Doctor Boom, and you know if that you don't deal with Emperor Thorstein, and then Doctor Boom comes out, then it's gonna be tough for you to come back in the game. So we are gonna move into game number 4. Hot Form still on match point, and Suki Pan's gonna try and find a win with the Druid before having to go back to that Warlock and trying to find the win. So this looks like I want to say fast Druid, but seeing the mind
Yeah,
control tech, a lot of Druids that run mind control tech also are pretty taunt heavy with Ancient of Wars.
yeah, definitely.
Spider Tank?
Wait a minute, is my control tech a mech? No. What
No.
is he doing? What if
Wow.
he
I
just
mean,
doesn't like
okay.
shades?
Druid
Until
is
we see a mech
expensive.
warper.
Druid is expensive. Shades are epics. They're pretty expensive. We
Oh, that's a
said
good
that
point.
he's
That silver tank is silver. I think it is just a sub. And same thing with the mind control tech. He's like,
yeah.
I don't have shades, I don't have that Nax, spider tank, and mind control tech.
So it seems like it is just going to be fast Druid. Um,
Just
with
falling on a budget here. I wonder if that. So mind control tech. Usually, if you lose the board in this matchup, you're dead. But maybe a mind control tech BGH turn on Hot Form's Doctor Boom turn could come into play. That would be really
yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hot Form definitely has the board here.
Yeah, Elder Peacekeepers is such a strong card against pretty much anything that a druid can throw out early on. Shade's the only thing that can really play around it a little bit, just because it's not going to get targeted right away. But like Paladin Shredder, Druid of the Claw, so many things that just punish you right away if you have Eldar Peacekeeper.
Okay, so Senjin value trade is a little bit scary to swipe. It's not that scary. No, that should be fine.
Yeah,
But
it's
maybe
slightly
Minibot Hero Power is fine.
so. His next play is pretty much coin Sylvanas. I'm
Yeah,
not
even if
sure.
he's ahead on board, he'll probably still go for that.
Yeah, just for the 5/5/5, and I think if he, regardless of what he does, if there's a swipe, he's going to get punished super hard
Yeah.
because he'll
Yeah,
play
Minibot Hero
Sylvanas pretty
Power is
much
pretty
into
weak as well.
yeah. But there is no swipe. There's a force of nature. This is
It's
kind of
actually
a weak turn.
Yeah, this actually gives him the option too to consecrate Shield of Minibot. It's
Yeah,
not that great, but
yeah. So I think force of nature is actually pretty decent here. It allows you to clear the whole board, leave you with a 5/2. Other options would only be just to play Azure Drake or just to play Spider Tank, and both of those play sort of right into True Silver Champion.
yeah, looks like it's gonna be. Oh, okay. Spider Tank Hero Power.
Yeah, I guess that you're able to clear out the Eldar Peacekeeper.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to kill, or it gives Paladin a lot of freedom if the Force Ninja's down, but at this point, the Hawthorne doesn't know if he plays one or two.
Yeah,
And in a budget deck, I wouldn't be surprised to see two Force Nature. You know, you don't have
Force
like
of
those
Nature's an
cards.
epic.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but you don't have cards like Sylvanas and uh, uh, what's the Druid Epic Legendary 9-drop called? Cenarius. Maybe you don't have those
Snares.
cards that you want to fit in, so you have room for things like Force Nature to fill out.
Druid's actually a super expensive deck, Fast Druid, because Ancient of Lore and Ancient
Oh
of
yeah.
War, whatever you choose to run, they're both epics. Force of Nature is epic. Shades are epic.
Oh man, all the epics they add up, and you need the Emperor for sure, and
Yeah,
Doctor Boom, and
yeah,
Lothar.
yeah. And Lothep's pretty far down in Nax. I think it is, yeah. It's pretty far down in Nax. Alright, well, he's just gonna slam the Emperor here. It's not the best hand for Emperor to come down.
Yeah,
But
kind of weak hits. Because you can't really combo Sylvanas with anything as Paladin, except for maybe Defender Vargas.
yeah. Or a one-mana shielded mini-bot. That's the ultimate combo. That's exactly what I'm looking for when I play Paladin. Let me
Yeah, I
get
don't think
that
that.
turn 6 Sylvanas shielded mini-bot power swing.
Now he does get the kind of he's behind on board. He gets played Sylvanas from behind, but he's probably a little worried about Force Nature Saboteur. Although seeing one, maybe he feels not too scared. But
Seeing one might make you more scared, though, because it means that the Druid
that's true.
felt good enough about getting rid of one Force of Nature to clear board. He might have a second.
Sukipan feeling pretty confident, just taking it slow with the double lore in hand. That's actually a huge pickup. He's got double lore Azure so he probably feels like he could run hot form out of cards at this point. And hot form with the heal bot, that's not what you want when you're low on cards.
No.
And hot form's deck, we're assuming it has Kel'Thuzad and probably double lay on hands. So this is a pretty low value draw, but he's probably going to draw into something soon.
True Silver. That's pretty helpful, actually. Allows him to kill off one of these, but after he does that, he's not really doing anything else because Muster for Battle is going to override it, so...
Oh. Okay,
it's going to Muster Consecrate.
Yeah. Threatening a Quartermaster, but he doesn't have it. So
Probably doesn't run Quartermaster at all. I'm not sure. I can't really remember. I didn't watch the whole run through yesterday that he was doing, but I watched quite a bit of it, and I can't remember seeing it.
It's a super low value swipe, but he's got the second lower to back it up.
And he knows that Hallform is running out of cards. He's got 2 cards in his hand, so I think you can play a little bit more liberally with your cards here, and I think this is an okay swipe.
Yeah,
you don't want to get punished by Quartermaster, even though you might be sure that he doesn't have it.
Yeah, it's not worth the risk. I'd be really surprised if he doesn't use it.
Wow, he's thinking about it for a long time. Okay, there we go. Hot form doesn't even look phased.
Yeah, we'll see how phased he is after he picks up a low quality drop. There it is. And then after he sees the second lower pop out here. Top form, he's like, I use my Consecrate. Should I just, yeah, he's like, yep.
Yeah, I don't think he runs Pyromancers for the second quality activator, so. And this is about as good as it's going to get. But he has initiative on board. At least, with a 3-3 and a 1-1. Unless hot form draws into like lay on hands into really great drops, then that's the only way he's gonna be able to get back in it. And just having to trade in here. And just play Sludge Belcher. Now he's out of cards, so that lay on hands could not come at a better time. But even then, he's going to spend an entire turn using lay on hands and not getting himself back in the game. So Muster for Battle is not what he wanted to see. The Sludge Belcher was played first, so the Slime would come out in that situation, but he's going to try and get him to steal a 1-1. Regardless of what he does, he's still just going to be in such a rough spot. Second swipe is in hand. He's actually getting close to lethal. I believe that's a Force of Nature in his hand. So swipe, just play creature, set up for the Force of Nature Savage Roar. And unless hot form draws into a taunt or something, then he's gonna be dead next turn. Lay on hands. I think it might be too late actually. He's gonna heal back up to 21. Oh wow. Sukipen's actually going to be 1 damage off lethal next turn. There's still a chance, maybe. He's actually got 20 damage. So he's going to be forced to just play... What was that last card? Okay, drew the call with charge. Yeah. Well, he's basically going to have to ride Tyrion to victory. And even then, I don't think it would be enough. Healbot might be able to keep him alive, but no, it's not going to be enough. Force Eater Saboteur is going to kill him. Yeah. Alright, well, we are going to go to game number 5 in this series. Sukipan's going to tie it up. Hotform doesn't look phased by it. And it's going to go into the final match, which is going to be Hotform's Paladin versus Celestial's Warlock. He had some trouble with the Warlock earlier on. And we'll see if he's going to be able to move forward now. Hotform has lost 2 in a row now with the Paladin deck. It looks like we're just going to jump right into it. No breaks. These players know which decks they're going to have to face. And this Paladin deck, it's a little bit slower, but it does still have good matchup against the faster classes. But this curve is not the best for Hotform. He does have the Equality Consecrate combination in his hand, but that's not too helpful until later on in the game, especially with so many Death Rattle creatures. Second Equality. That's really rough.
Reporting for duty.
Put this apple on your head.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he's got to try and figure out whether or not he wants to Aldor Peacekeeper early on to try and sort of gain tempo back in the match. But, I mean, with a Haunted Creeper on board, just a couple good juggles would just bring him out of the match. And we can see that he actually does have Abusive Sergeant as well. And if you're wondering why you can only hear me and not Hyped, Hyped is having a few difficulties here. After this matchup, we'll try and get it resolved. But for now, you're just stuck with me until the end of this match. And so far, I mean, this looks like Sukipan's actually in a pretty good spot. There are some actually big game-swinging combinations here for Hotform, but the question will be whether or not he can actually get to that point. Consecrate on this turn is pretty good into Sludge Belcher, but once he stabilizes, he's going to have to start drawing into threats in order for him to be able to start coming back in the game. Well, this is actually really good for Hotform. Sukipan just draws dead. The only thing he can play this turn would be Void Terror, and he's not going to be able to get it on anything. A 3/3 is not a strong play on turn 4 for this Warlock. This is actually one of the roughest hands he could have with Doomguard, double Power Roaming, double Implosion. With nothing on board, this is rough. And Hotform has to make the decision here whether or not he's going to go for the True Silver Champion to try and develop that for the next turn. or play the Sludge Belcher. Both plays sort of get punished by Doomguard, because if you play Sludge Belcher and Sukipan plays Doomguard, it just trades in. But I think this blocks more damage overall. And now there's a couple options here for Sukipan. He can either, as much as you hate to do it, just playing Doomguard on this board might be the only way that you can start coming back in the game. If you Implosion on the Sludge Belcher and you miss, like you only hit for 2 or 3, then you're basically trading in your whole hand or your whole turn just to clear the first iteration of the Sludge Belcher, and you're giving initiative back over to Hot Form. So he is going to go ahead and play the Doomguard onto the board. He discards the Power Overwhelming as well as the Mortal Coil, I do believe. So not the worst, but he's not going to have quite as much reach. And Hot Form's just sort of, looks like he wrote down or made a mark as to what was discarded from the Doomguard, so he knows what to play around later on in the match. I'm going to give him a slight amount of peace of mind so that he can know that he can play around a little bit less burst as the game goes on, now that he knows one Power Overwhelming is gone. And Implosion looks like it's going to be the play here because he tapped. So it was either that or play Loetheb. Loetheb would have just been traded into with the True Silver Champion and the 1/1. And his hand was really bad, so he wants to make sure he's tapping turn after turn after turn to make sure that he's starting to get a little bit of a higher quality hand. And now while both lay on hands, both equalities in the hand of Hot Form at the moment. So he can be a little bit liberal with these equalities, but this is such a weak board to want to sacrifice your Pyromancer in order to equality. He might just wait until next turn, like just Hero Power, maybe even just throw out the Wild Pyromancer. Actually, no, just Hero Power and kill the Void Terror with your True Silver Champion. Seems like it's a pretty reasonable play. It's going to be tough to fit in the equalities later on, though, so that might be playing into his head. And yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. Saying, I don't know if I'm ever going to get more value out of these equalities or this Pyromancer. I want to make sure that next turn I have a nice clean board to play a land hands on. Make sure that I still have my weapon equipped to be able to deal with anything that comes out next turn so that I can safely lay on hands without losing too much tempo. Seems like the best play. And second Implosion. Wow! That was a little bit of overkill on that 1/1. So yeah, he is going to go ahead and use the lay on hands here. Bring himself back up to 28. Wow, second Consecrate. It's actually fantastic draw, especially with the board here. I would actually be inclined to attack into the Haunted Creeper just to sort of make it so your opponent can't play more than one creature the next turn. But whoa. That Loetheb actually makes things sort of problematic. If he consecrates, that's all he's doing the whole turn. He could consecrate and throw the True Silver Champion into the Loetheb. He might even just want to play Ysera. This is probably the highest health he's ever going to be. The only opportunity that he's ever going to get to play Ysera. Especially since he's Loethebbed out right now, so he can't play spells. Even though the board looks sort of intimidating, there's actually only 11 power, and if he plays Ysera, he would have to sacrifice a couple in. Even with Power Overwhelming and Doomguard, he still wouldn't have enough damage on board to kill him, because he'd have to trade creatures in just in order to make room. So to be honest, Ysera actually might be reasonable play here. Let's look at the other options. He could Aldor Peacekeeper the Loetheb, Shielded Minibot, and then just play Hero Power. But turn 9, Ysera gonna come down. And this is a cheeky play here. Only gonna spawn one Spectral Spider. It's gonna open up to make sure that he has a little bit better of a Consecrate next turn as well. So that way he doesn't have to trade something else into the Honda Creeper in order to get a better consecration. Alright, so he's going to attack in with one, sacrifice it to make room to play other things on board, and then he's going to try and calculate his damage. So if he trades another one of these Imps in, and then Direwolves. Wow. Okay. Is he actually going to... Okay. He's just going to try and put him enough damage on the board to make room for the Doom Guard by trading one of the creatures into the Ysera. So he wants to hold on to the 2 cards in his hand. Oh wow, he doesn't actually put the Doom Guard at all. He's going to save that for burst. Alright, so Consecrate is near automatic here. And... well, Equality I don't think is really necessary, because the only creature that won't survive Equality Consecrate, or that won't survive just a Consecration, is Loatheb. And he could actually go ahead and Aldor Peacekeeper it. So it's not going to be much of a threat anyway. And doing it in this order means he actually preserves 1 health on his Ysera by getting rid of the Divine Shield with the Anoatron instead of attacking into it. So that's the reason why he did that right around. So there's 5, 9, 10 damage in the hand. What was that? Did he just draw?
Put this apple on your head.
Flame Imp. So there's actually no way that he could kill him this turn, even with perfect juggles. Oh wow. How much damage does Hot Form have on the other side? He's got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 with the weapon, and 16 with the Nightmare. If he doesn't clear anything off the board here, he's actually dead. Wow, he's thinking. He really wants to set up for lethal next turn, but he's going to have it regardless, as long as only 1 creature survives. But that 1 damage might make a difference. So he could be thinking that he wants to attack into one of these 1/1s. If he doesn't, then he is dead. Or if he plays Flame Imp, then he's dead no matter what he clears into. He's trying to think, because if he... Whoa. He's going to hedge his bets. There's been 2 Ysera draws. The likelihood that he goes for that is actually pretty likely. And I think that's going to be it. Yeah, 7, 10, 11, exactly 16 damage with the Nightmare. It looks like Hot Form is going to take down Sukipan in 5 games. It took him all the way to the 5th one. He went up 2-0, but then it took him 3 tries to actually get a win with the Paladin. So he's going to move on to the finals to face Nostum. But of course, Sukipan and Strip the Chirp are going to play for the 3rd place match. There is a difference of GEICO points, there's a difference of prize money and World Championship points if you get that 3rd place, so it does matter. Yeah, and we're going to do the 3rd place match before the finals. So coming up after the break is going to be Strip the Chirp versus Sukipan. They're going to play for 3rd place. There's GEICO points on the line, there's World Championship points on the line, and of course, prize money on the line. So don't go anywhere, guys. We have plenty more One Nation of Gamers Summer Circuit. This is North American Qualifier 1. We got plenty of action coming up right after the break. Alrighty, welcome back, everybody, to the One Nation of Gamers Summer Circuit. This is the North American Qualifier number 1. Once again, I'm Osmo, joined by George Hyped Magazzini.
Thank you.
Tempo Storm's very own resident columnist for the
Meta Snapshot.
Meta Snapshot. Also their resident hair expert, green wall expert.
A lot of things.
And a lot of experts. But we're about to jump into the third place match between Sukipan and Serp the Terp in the One Nation of Gamers North American Qualifier. So both these players lost in the first rounds. Both these players lost in game number 5. And for third place, there actually is GEICO points and World Championship points. Actually, there's GEICO points and money difference. So for third place, they get 7 GEICO points and $50. As well as 1 championship point. And for fourth place, they only get 5 GEICO points and no money. So this is the difference between $50 and no dollars.
Yeah, and the 5 World Championship points is the difference between getting, top 100 versus top 430, I think, which is pretty big.
Yeah, so I'm sure these guys, with $50, they could buy... How many packs can you buy with $50? Was like $2 per pack.
$25 difference. Oh, I see. Oh, 50. Okay, I was looking a second. Yeah, $50.
No, third and fourth place match actually have no World Championship point difference,
okay,
so they both get 1, which is the same as finishing
$50.
50th through 100th on the ladder at the end of the season.
Okay.
$50. You buy 25
packs. Yeah, something like that.
That's like on average what, 1 legendary? Which is what
know.
On average 4.
There's a lot of averaging going on right now.
I know. So I'm sure these players really want to win. That's what we're saying.
You can also get a quote from GEICO on insurance, and you'll save even more than $50 probably.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot more packs that way.
You could turn that $50 into even more dollars by saving money with GEICO. So we are going to jump into the very first match here. Very first game of the third place match between Terp and Sukipan is going to be the Druid taking on the Mid-Range Hunter. So Druid from Sukipan and Mid-Range Hunter from Terp. We have seen both these players play already today. We've seen both these decks before since both matches went to game 5. And I'd say this match is pretty heavily in favor of the Mid-Range Hunter.
Yeah, that mind control tech is definitely going to get value here. It's probably better than the Shade in this matchup, for sure. But usually you're behind. It's hard to get the swing turn with the mind control tech. We might even see it come down on turn 3. It's a little unfortunate. But it's going to mess with the traps, should it be a freezing trap, for example.
Mm-hmm. So, I want to get your thoughts on, if you don't have Mad Scientist, keeping freezing trap as Mid-Range Hunter against Druid.
No,
do you do it?
Not unless the rest of my curve is solid. But then the thing about that is, it's like a good card. It's like a 2-mana sap that you pay for beforehand. But the problem is, if you draw Scientist later, it gets really bad because then your Scientist does nothing, and I'm always really sad when that happens. So generally, no, I just mulligan it, shoot for the Scientist.
Yeah. So Reynad over the past weekend, both his matchups against Druid, he get freezing trap against Druid, and both of his matchups he drew the second freezing trap within his first 2 draws, and in both matchups he still won.
Okay, interesting. Okay, maybe I'll have to consider it then.
No,
I guess no one
don't
really
consider
plays Samba Chow anymore. Okay.
It just I don't know. It felt like I don't even know. I don't even want to get into it, but it just felt.
I definitely don't keep it.
Well, there's no way for him to outright kill this unless he kill commands into it and bows it down. And he could throw the Mad Scientist in and have the freezing trap be put up and then play something like Piloted Shredder.
Yeah, I like
just sort of an awkward turn.
Even if you feel like behind Piloted Shredder is like the card that kind of brings you back. It's like an early... People used to call it a mini Karen, which is funny because now no one uses Karen.
Yeah.
So it's like... But it's kind of like, yeah, it'll maintain parity. I mean, technically you're ahead on board with the 4/4 death 4/3 death rattle versus 4/4, and that's not even counting the freezing trap and the bow.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully he gets to save this coin for the Doctor Room. That'll be huge with no Big Game Hunter on the opposing side.
Yeah.
Oh, Emperor's coming down, though. Probably has to deal with that. Kill Command does it. Quickshot does it as well if he's willing to burn his bow. He gets to get a Knife Juggler down. It's probably not worth it. It's probably worth just burning the Owl for Kill Command.
Yeah, there's none. Well, then you're sort of weak to Sylvanas that are on the game.
Oh, if you do the Owl play now, you still keep the Freezing Trap up. Looks like he's going to make the trade first. I don't think there's much that changes this.
Vitality Totem.
Vitality Totem means you're playing the long game.
Yeah. I think can actually be pretty good.
He can actually save his Owl if he's willing to pay his Quick Shot, but this way at least he gets a potential Houndmaster target. Because Suki-Pen really doesn't want a Hero Power this turn. Although he could, I guess he could do 7-drop plus a 1-mana Wrath. That works. Yeah, go for the Dr. Boom now, that way you have the Boom bots to deal with the traps, and just Wrath for 1. So maybe open with the Wrath for 1, into Dr. Boom most likely.
Yeah, I don't think... This is one of those situations where I don't think Wrathing for 1 and drawing anything really changes your play. I mean, maybe, but I doubt I don't think there's anything in this deck that's going to make him say, maybe I shouldn't play Dr. Boom this turn.
Yeah. Alright, so insert before the counter Dr. Boom. He's thinking if he can, like, kind of get some Freezing Trap value and force it on the Dr. Boom, which he can. He gives up his bow. Or he can go for a Knife Juggler. No, he can't. Okay. Yeah, feels forced into the Dr. Boom. Actually, he can go for the Boom chain reaction here, but he burns his bow for a low chance of getting it off.
Yeah, at least he still has a Vitality Totem, so he's just going to be able to heal back up that damage.
Oh yeah, he didn't want to pass up on that heal value.
Yeah, it's like a win-win. It hits your Boom bot, has a chance to hit his, which plays into Freezing Trap, and it hits your face. You get value out of Vitality Totem. There you go.
Okay.
Still no Houndmaster target, so that card's going to sit there for a while. But if you draw something like an Animal Companion next turn, could be pretty good. Does draw into second Freezing Trap, but I'm not sure how much he wants to for okay, yeah, that makes it a little bit difficult.
Haunted Creeper. Spider Tank. Yeah. Alright, so we can force out a Houndmaster. Everything's pretty awkward, and it's probably going to rely on the Boombot RNG. He probably needs the Quick Shot draw at this point. And he probably needs the Haunted Creeper juggles, which means for any of that to work out, he needs good Boombot RNG, which he's not getting. He already missed the first shot. So now he's probably forced to Quick Shot. Yeah, so Quick Shot, Freezing Trap most likely.
Oh. He's starting to run out of cards.
Yeah, Quick Shot Freezing. Okay. Yeah, with that lore coming down, and with that Vitality Totem, like, being not the kind of value he wanted, he's really far behind.
Yeah. Yeah. For people who may just not be watching and are curious why there's a Spider Tank in Suki-Pan's hand, it's because this is our theory. He recently started playing on NA, so he doesn't have many cards. And Druid can be an expensive deck. So we think that's the Shade replacement, because Spider Tank is, of course, I mean, if you open like 10 GBG packs, you're almost guaranteed a Spider Tank.
Yeah, he only has one because he's got the Mind Control tech too.
Yeah, so those are his 3-drop replacements in the deck.
It's really just bare bones deck.
Well, I think you have to Haunted Creeper and Houndmaster here. Or you can Haunted Creeper Kill Command and hope that it steals your...
Actually, now he can trade into the Spider Tank, and now the Sylvanas doesn't suicide itself fully, but you don't have enough damage to win that way. I'm not seeing a win. I think even if you go all face here, you're still so far behind on damage.
Yeah.
I guess technically you're ahead on board with the trade.
But that's not that strong of a board.
Yeah, so he's going to have 6 damage going in, 7-8 with hero power. 13 potentially, with if he gets a beast, that's still way off.
Oh, the keeper off the top. Um, he's thinking about whether or not he wants to use it because he knows that there are going to be high mains at some point. So he's thinking, do I need to save that? Can I just play Sludge Belcher or Load Up here and still be in a good enough spot?
Yeah, I don't think the keeper actually does it do much. It doesn't really do much.
It allows him to steal something. Either a silenced 1-2 or a Vitality Totem.
Yeah, it goes for the Belcher. I like it.
Yeah. Animal Companion.
Alright, Leok's pretty sick here.
Yeah. It allows him to finally do something with the Vitality. Turn green! Means you got
Nice.
Leok. Is it that sick, though?
It's almost... Okay, maybe not.
Because if you kill Command here, he's like out of damage. He's got no cards left. He's still going to have to trade one of these spiders in. Still has to do with Sylvanas. Still has an Azure Drake on the board.
Okay, maybe he just loses.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's rough. He just didn't get going quick enough, it felt like.
Oh, he steals the... Okay, I thought he still flew off there. Okay.
Well played.
Well,
He throws out the well
man,
played.
Suki-tan. You're losing
Wow.
your... He wanted to bridge the gap between NA and China. He's going to lose some people on that. Maybe that's... He thinks that's... Maybe that's good mannered on the Chinese server.
It's like the perfect face that we picked for his still picture too, because it's sort of like smug a little bit.
Oh, man.
Like I can just see that him right now clicking his mouse onto the well played button and making that face.
I don't want to
Perfect.
mischaracterize him, but I am staunchly anti-emote in almost any capacity.
You're in favor of the perma-squelch.
Oh, I told
Squelch all
every
button.
single person at Blizzard that I talked to at ESL this weekend that the busy mode on Battle.net should be tied into an auto squelch, so when you turn on busy in Battle.net, you don't see emotes. Very simple.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah.
All right, Unleash the Hounds, not very helpful of a draw at this stage. He can clear
That was
off the
smart.
Houndmaster and go face for 2, or just go face. But I think
Yeah,
if he
I hope
doesn't clear this
disconnects,
off,
something like that.
yeah. If he didn't clear that off, that would be lethal with combo. So I didn't even see what he draw off the top. Okay, he's gonna try and Wrath for 1 here, and pretty much once he clears this board, and
Alright, Serp, you need something big,
yeah,
like a Ragnarok.
yeah. King Crush off the web spinner. All right, he's just gonna go ahead and concede. So Sukipan is going to take game number 1, and he's on his way to that 50 bucks. Yeah, with the spider tank.
Nice. Alright, so Rogue is going to be really good against that type of freezing trap slow hunter, so that's another good pick. And then he had the Zoo, which actually struggles against... Okay, so the Zoo is going to be his weak link for sure. See if he can pick up a win there. Whereas Rogue should be great.
Yeah, and Sirp the Terp had the Control Warrior.
We're about
Yeah.
to see.
Yeah, yeah, definitely the Control Warrior. It was oh man, Nostum. There you go, Nostum,
There you
who
go,
had the
yeah.
Ancient Warrior. Yeah.
Pretty solid start, though, for Sukipan. He's got the Voidwalker to protect the Knife Juggler from weapons, and also the Hana Creeper to dodge weapons.
Yeah. But still, this matchup is, as long as you can get the early curve out here, get some weapons early on. Fireworks is a pretty big deal. Allows you to do with like the first Knife Juggler or Flame Imp.
Oh,
Then-
really solid Flame Imp Voidwalker combo.
Ouch. Yeah. You just need to get to the point of stabilization, and the later your weapons come, the later you stabilize, and the more likely the Warlock is to just kill you.
Yeah, Sukipan's not playing any Void Colors or anything, right? It's just like a very basic Zoo with the
Yeah.
Dark Iron Dwarfs.
Very basic, yeah. Armor or Cruel Taskmaster does not help him at all here. So just an armor up on turn 2 is definitely not what Surf the Turp wants to see.
I'm pretty sure Sukipan's gonna get this Knife Juggler Implosion off too. Oh, this is looking really bad for Surf the Turp. You're saying it's a good matchup, but
it's a good matchup.
Fiery too late.
Fire War Axe. Like Fire War Axe is what makes it a good matchup. Without Fire War Axe, it just feels like it's an uphill battle. I mean, it feels like an uphill battle regardless, but Fire War Axe is the thing that sort of makes you curve out earlier, and especially if the zoo has... This zoo has like the ideal start with Boardwalker Flame Imp. It's just so hard. And even with
Fire
that...
Axe was a little late, but actually cleaned up pretty well.
Yeah.
I think we'll see him just pre-equip the Death Spite.
Yeah.
Oh, he wants to... I didn't mean like that, I meant like, he wants to...
No, he pre-equipped it.
Dang. I'm not seeing the benefit of that. What is he thinking about on turn 4 that he needs to do 5 damage to, or... He just needs... I'm confused.
Maybe he wanted to kill off a Haunted Creeper? I don't know, but the Annoyotron's going to put a big wrench in his plans.
Oh, yeah, so he has to Cruel Taskmaster first if he wants to kill that, or he can just Cruel Taskmaster the Knife Juggler. But he should swing first, unless he wants to do something crazy. Okay, he's holding the weapon. Makes sense. There's only 3 power on board.
And he wants to get that armor up in as much as possible in order to sort of grind out for the later game. He does have some decent drops over the next couple turns. He's got Shield Maiden, Sylvanas.
My shield for Argus.
That's so annoying. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
I don't know if John's doing work.
Yeah, the Defender of Argus. I'm starting to really like the concept of putting a Noyotron in Zoo, because that's just super problematic for especially warriors to deal with, for a lot of classes to deal with, because getting rid of that Divine Shield is super tough. Sort of the same reason why Argent Squire was put in, because that Defender of Argus on Argent Squire is actually really tough to deal with.
Okay. Doesn't mind sacking this, he needs to make room for his implosion anyways. After the Death Spike goes off.
He's taking some punishment though.
Yeah, I don't see the stabilization coming.
No.
What can he even draw?
He would need Brawl.
Yeah. So you need Shield Block, Shield Slam right here, and then Brawl the following turn.
That's not a
Like
shield
a clutch
slam.
unstable goal. Yeah. Oh man.
And now he has to attack in just to start gaining life from Armorsmith, clearing off some power off the board, but there's still 9 power on board. He's only at 17 health, and he doesn't really have any solid drops over the next couple turns that are going to help him come back.
And he's got the egg to protect him from Brawl as well. I think you play egg first, so you don't... Yeah, you just take a few. Just... Oh, no one's okay. Interesting. Double egg pickup, no reason not to play it.
Yeah, it protects against
Deciding
Brawl,
where
which
to put it.
is
Yeah.
which is about the only thing that is going to keep him in the game. Ysera does not help at all. I think just... I mean, even Shield Maiden, armor up, it gains you 7 more health, but it doesn't do anything to sort of get you back.
Yeah, Grom's the best play, but I think he's dead if he tries to Grom.
What about Sylvanas?
Oh, he's actually... He lives with 1 HP if he Groms. Yeah. No, I like Grom better here.
Alright.
And
Oh,
that
the
should be lethal
Direwolf?
with the
Yeah,
Direwolf.
that's it.
If he gets
Wow,
the extra
that's-
damage.
That is
Oh.
rough.
Oh, he doesn't need it, okay. Anti-BM with this guy. A little bit of BM.
Yeah. Alright, well, Sukipan's going to take a 2-0 lead in the series, and he's just 1 game away from moving in, from taking 3rd place, getting the $50, getting the extra GEICO points. And I guess this is a good opportunity to talk to you about GEICO points and GEICO. Make sure you guys head over to geico.onog.gg. It is at the bottom of the screen in the middle. You can get a GEICO quote, and you can also sign up in a giveaway to win a official TSM PC. So I know Hype's going to enter in that because he wants a new PC. So you should
Definitely.
too.
And if you scroll
Despite,
down, there's also
yeah,
all the information about all the tournament scheduling and the points and all that stuff. If you're wondering.
yeah. I believe the next Open is on the 16th of June. So it's same time next week, I believe, Tuesday next week. So make sure you participate in that as well. And all the information you'll find on the website as well. The EU Open, the next EU Open is tomorrow. So if you're an EU player, have an EU account, or even if you're an NA player with an EU account, you can participate in the EU Open tomorrow. Yeah. So we are going to move into what could be the final game of this match, of the third place match. Sukupan's going to throw out the Rogue, and he's going to be going up against Serp the Terp's Control Warrior. Now, this is a pretty rough matchup for the Rogue. Am I right?
Yeah, but Sukipan's curving out really nicely here with the Blood Mage is getting in these free hits. The SI7 clears the Armor Smith. It's going to die to the Fiery, but, you know, it's kind of a nice clear. And then the Shredder. The Shredder is the most important card. And when I'm playing Control Warrior, actually when I'm playing both Warrior, the biggest cards are Shredder and Sprint. He's got one, and as long as he gets the Sprint on time, he should be okay. Another big, huge pickup here is if he curves into something like a Lotheb or Azure Drake. That'll be huge. And he has 2 draws for it with the Blood Mage, and there's the Azure Drake right there. So he's already in great shape. As long as he picks up the Sprint in decent time, he's going to be definitely winning this game. As you can see, Serp the Terp's removal isn't really lining up that well. It's going to be awkward to Shield Slam or fire you, the Azure Drake, once it comes down. Plus he has to deal with the... Okay, he's going to go for the silence. I like this. I mean, there's not many silence targets in Rogue anyways.
Yeah, pretty much just Paladin Shredders. Or sometimes Blood Mage.
Yeah, Blood Mage. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, maybe if you let an oil target live and you don't have any other way to deal with it to get rid of the posterior attack, but yeah, just throwing the oil out there early on to get going. Ooh.
I don't think we're going to see if... Actually, we might.
You're basically...
You're going to get at least 2 damage off, extra damage off your Blood Mage, and then if you pick up another spell damage spell next turn... Okay. I think it's worth it. Because you're going to have... You don't need a prep sprint at this point. Okay, he decides against it. Okay, he gets a good next turn play anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But now it looks like he's going to have to prep the fan anyways on the Belcher. Maybe not.
Yeah, so Belcher comes out, prep fan, deadly poison to clear it off, or are you really want to throw down the Lotheb on that turn?
Oh my god. Well, now, definitely Lotheb.
The Lotheb. Yeah. So the problem with this matchup is sometimes the Rogue just runs out of damage with the absurd amount of life gain that Control Warriors can have. But they can pressure early and start setting up big turns with oils.
It's mostly just that first sprint. If he finds the first sprint, he's going to sprint, and the second sprint, he's going to have all the cards he needs.
Yeah.
But if he misses these turns in the middle here without sprint, he's going to be stuck, like, not spending much mana, while the Warrior's able to freely play, like, big guys like Dr. Boom, Rag, Ysera.
He does have Shield Maiden and Shield Slam for the next turn. Wow, he does pick up the sprint, so that's actually one of the best draws that he could have hoped for in this situation. And now he's going to be able, like you said, free up his hand a little bit, or be able to play lots of stuff.
Yeah, Valti's just going to be big in this matchup, too. I think he would have liked to see a sap, but he does have a clear with the deadly poison.
Mm-hmm. Is it worth it to use deadly poison to kill a 1/2?
I think so. Although maybe with the teacher he wants to hold it.
Yeah. So also could be an easy activator for...
Yeah, he's got double oil right now.
Yeah. Which can be clunky sometimes.
Yeah, especially if you have the weapon broken down a little bit.
It also can win you the game, though. Was it 15 damage with South Sea double oil?
Oh, yeah.
I know it's 9 with
8 plus
1.
7. Yeah, 15.
Yeah, 15. 8 plus 7? Where do you get those numbers from?
Well, the South Sea goes up to 8, and the weapon
Oh,
goes up to
okay, okay.
7. I usually just think of it one charge. The South Sea's 5, the weapon's 4, and you add 3 to
Yeah.
each.
I just calculate 1, then 2 from the South Sea, and then 6 from each oil. Well, he's going to start to get value out of this Violet Teacher. Violet Teacher can be tough for boards to remove if they don't have like Deathbite already set up, because that's like the cleanest way for them to do it. It plays into Brawl a little bit more, but right now this is not a good Brawl board.
I think I would have liked to see Sukupan wait a bit on the Violet Teacher and force more draws, because he's kind of giving away his Violet Teacher here, and now he has no way to refill the board.
I can take the hit.
He's got Earthen Ring Farce here.
Alright.
These slimes are super annoying though. They block. Like if you wanted to set up a big Blade Flurry turn, it blocks so much.
Yeah, he should be able to fan through. But I'm counting how if he gets one more prep, then that's potentially, what do we say, 15 plus another 7? That's 22 damage. But he's actually still far off that. It's like
Oh
he's gonna need to get some creature damage through. And he's already used his Shredder in his Loatheb, and that Violet Teacher's gone, so he's gonna have a hard time getting that damage in. We did see he plays Emperor. Okay, so you can probably Emperor this hand down. It's going to be super cheap. It's going to be an OTK, but he, like I said, he needs that extra 9 damage. And we're going to imagine there's going to be a few more armor ups here.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll be able to get through it because he's out of creatures now. One of these creatures has to live long enough to be able to get in that much damage. Because pretty much every other piece in his hand is going to be part of that combo. He could sprint next turn.
Yeah, now Sap gets bad. He had, man. And we're pretty sure he doesn't play BGH either for the Grom.
Mm-hmm.
See, the war is really low on cards. They just happen to be super high value ones.
Yeah. Yeah. He's out pressuring, which is the good thing, and he didn't armor up this turn, which could end up being a good thing, but now if he sprints this turn, he's just going to be giving up so much of the momentum. And if he wants to go for that combination, looks like he's just going to go for it right now.
Yeah, maybe he'll kill the Ysera. Maybe he'll just go all damage. I don't think he's going to go all damage.
He's throwing so much damage into the Ysera if he decides to go for it like that.
Only 6. Only 6. And
that's a
actually,
lot.
Serpaturb has no way to kill the South Sea, though, so he might get it back. But yeah, I'd really like to see just attack into the Ysera and Flurry. This makes less sense to me.
Well,
Oh, maybe
he's going to put him at 2.
Oh, I guess I did the math wrong. I thought he was 9 off for some reason. Oh, because the Deadly Poison was
Deadly
there.
Poison off. Yeah, Deadly Poison as well, yeah.
Okay.
So you calculate it right for like a single turn with maximum amount of damage, but
yeah. Okay.
Now he sets it up to where anything he plays this turn is going to get caught in the Blade Flare as well. This would have been super weak to...
Yeah, an Alex Straza maybe.
Or
But
Harrison Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he says well played. He just needs to, with prep sprint, he just needs to come up on, what, 4 damage?
Yeah,
so,
this and both SS7s are down. I think there's the second Deadly, though.
Yeah. Alright, well, we'll see if he can get it. He still has, I think, more than 10 cards remaining, so I'm not sure how likely it is, but... Well, there's Emperor, Backstab, that's not it. Sap, that's not it. Blade Flurry again? He doesn't find it.
He's like 1 off because he can Flurry twice, right? Oh, wait. Yeah, he has 11 damage, so he's 2 damage off.
Yeah. Wow.
So maybe Sap Shredder, but we do see the Dream for the Shredder there. It's going to take care of it.
So many options.
Wow.
But I don't... how does Serpaturb even live, though? We know there's Evises in there, right? There's at least one Evis.
Yeah, I think he has, what, like 6 or 7 cards remaining after 2
Gotta
sprints?
be 1 Evis, 1 Deadly. Yeah. Surprised he didn't backstab that, but I guess he... Oh, he doesn't have a free dagger. Okay, cool. Makes sense.
Yeah. Well, he still doesn't find a way to gain life or... Yeah, looks like he's just going to try and put out as much pressure as possible in order to set up lethal as quick, give him less outs.
Yeah.
But yeah, all he needs is an Eviscerate here because he's got Tack In, Blade Flurry, Eviscerate would be lethal. Is there anything else? Deadly Poison? Have we seen both?
I believe there's a second Deadly Poison and a second Abyss.
Yeah. Ooh, Anti-Killbot. That's not it. Wow.
Okay, so that's multiple turns here.
Multiple turns, but at the same time, just giving Serp the Terp more opportunities to draw into health gain. I'm pretty sure there's a second shield block in this deck, and a second shield block would pretty much lock him out of the game.
That's true. Now he gets to set up Grom on the board and threaten
Yeah.
lethal the following turn.
And all of a sudden, Eviscerate with an armor up is no longer lethal.
Oh, and there's the shield block.
There's the shield block.
Yeah, I'd like to see if he could... I think he can afford to just Grom execute to get lethal on the board. Oh, okay, maybe he could take the safer route with Despite then. He has no activation. But yeah, that should be... Okay, so 2 Deathbite swings in Grom is 18, plus the Nightmare should be enough, and then he just has to sack his Sarah in. And he gets to armor up this turn. Yeah. Although we do see the heal bot on the opposing side.
Yeah, but I don't know how he's going to piece together 12 damage with what he has left. He can anti-Killbot Pile Destroyer. Oh, the Eviscerate is 1 card too late.
I think he can do it. Serp has no way to deal with this Shredder. He might have to go for a Brawl here.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. He does have no way to deal with it. Let's see if he Grom.
5 off, yeah. Okay.
So if he brawls, then he doesn't leave anything on the board. So he wants to hope that the... Ooh.
So hopefully something... Okay, that's not...
Ooh.
Well, he can execute. He can kill the dog and execute, and he probably wants to make... Yeah, so he can play all the cards on the right and save the Nightmare Grom. Probably just get the armor, just take the armor, whirlwind both your dudes down, and execute.
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like he sees the play.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was like... Honestly, that was like as good as his Brawl could have gone, because I mean, if the Potted tried to live, that would have been worse.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you're not worried about oil anymore. But this is a pretty good result.
So it's going to be at 11. Even Deadly Poison, Blade Flurry of... Oh, Deadly Poison would be it, right?
Yeah, with
That'd be exactly 11 damage.
Almost out of cards.
Zap. Oh no.
Now he's out of cards. Yeah, I believe that last card is Deadly Poison. Which is not enough damage to kill unless that Azurdic swings somehow. So he needs to sap that. But unfortunately, unless he abysses this Armorsmith, which he probably won't, it's going to get Nightmare, or he could just Grom in anyways.
Yeah, he's going to get the spell power bonus right now while he can. But even next turn, he's going to be at 7 health. So, yeah.
Yeah, unless
I don't know.
does something really weird. If he hasn't
Unless we're just
cards.
wrong and it's not Deadly Poison. But I'm pretty sure it is. I think we only saw one. And I can't
Yeah,
remember
it's-
anything else that it could possibly be.
Yeah, Deadly Poison's one of the best draws at this point anyways. He's already used both oils.
Yeah.
But yeah, something like Leroy would be lethal.
Yeah, Leroy Jenkins. Maybe he runs in... No, even something like Arcane Golem wouldn't do it. See, the only way Serp the Tip loses here is if he doesn't kill the Azure Drake.
And doesn't armor up, yeah. But he
It
should
doesn't
be
armor
fine.
up. If he disconnects, there you go. Yeah. So 8 health, if this last card is Deadly Poison, then that is going to be game.
Oh, I should.
Oh no, do we get to see it?
It's Deadly Poison, alright.
Yeah, it is. Okay, we got it. Alright, well, we are going to go to game number 4. Serp the Terp is going to take at least one victory in this series, in this third place matchup. And Sukipan still just has to find one wound with the rogue. He's either got to do it against mid-range hunter or handlock. So
Yeah, two good matchups, honestly, because the Handlock is lacking things, because it has the Arcane Golem power combo, which isn't really going to help you versus Rogue. It's only going to hurt you.
I don't think this is the Warlock with...
Oh, I'm getting them all mixed up. No, I think that's the Zele Warlock then. Okay.
Nostum has the
Oh,
Warlock.
man.
Yeah,
Alright,
so
we'll figure out soon enough.
has traditional handlock, I think.
Alright, Sukipan picking up the coin, always what you want to see as Rogue, especially in this matchup. He's going to have the hero power into Earthen Ring. Pretty solid. Oh, no. Okay, no. He can't hero power here. Okay,
Alright.
so actually pretty solid curve from Surf the Terp here.
Yeah, it's going to be able to get out the mad scientist and into Animal Companion. So what do you think of this matchup? I've heard a lot of people say Rogue is strong against mid-range hunter right now. Is that true?
Yeah, you really need some backstabs though, early on. You need the sap for the Savannah, that's a big one, and you need the hunter not to like low you on a big turn. As long as you can deal with the traps well, you should be okay. Sometimes they can put the bow on, kill all your 3/3s, you just can't deal with freezing, but we see he's got the South Sea already. And he's got the sprint, so he's not like low on value either. So he has all these little defensive cards with the sprint follow, which is perfect.
Yeah.
I'm kind of forced to South Sea though here. It's fine.
He's not going to have some way to easily activate the freezing trap, which is the one problem by using this. But I guess that's not too big of a deal, especially if he can get something with the freezing. Something like Earthen Ring Farseer with freezing.
Picks up the bow to deal with the Earthen Ring there. Pretty big pickup.
And also the Silverback Patriarch.
Oh yeah, that's gonna stop all kinds of flurries.
It's actually really annoying.
It is. Unless you play Kodo or something.
It's like a gold chair footman on steroids.
That might be an exact. You only get one. You only get 2 HP from steroids? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess you get to turn into a beast though. That's pretty sick.
Yeah. You could literally turn into a gorilla. Actually, I think steroids have like the opposite effect. Don't you lose hair?
I'm not sure. Oh, man.
No, I think you gain hair.
Yeah, I think you lose hair.
No, so you do
Maybe-
turn into a
okay.
Silverback Patriarch.
Alright, gonna need an expert on this.
It gets
Oh,
2-2.
Squire. Below average, but
Yeah.
fine in this situation.
Mhm.
Actually, you get to. It's a decent freezing trap target.
You could put a Divine Shield on something. That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it matters because I don't know how much the Hunter's going to be trading in at this point.
Yeah, actually, he should probably not pop the trap and maybe just go for a flurry for 2 damage, and then that way Serp has to maybe break his bow, or feels pressured to.
Yeah.
If this Patriarch can throw a knife at the Juggler, though, at the Blood Mage, it'll be really nice. At the same time, he might not want to throw out his Patriarch when he has 2 Houndmasters in hand.
So Patriarch with Houndmaster basically just turns into a Fen Creeper.
You did the math, Fen Creeper. Okay, yeah, Fen Creeper. 3, 6.
Yeah.
It's solid.
Yeah, I guess so. A Fen Creeper with Beast synergy.
Yeah, so it's more like a King of Beasts with 1 beast on the board, is what I would.
Yeah, there you go. That's
it.
oh no. Yeah, I guess that's right. Because if it's silenced, it goes back down. Okay. That's a more accurate description of it. I agree. So
Sukipan in a pretty awkward spot.
Yeah, has to throw the Eviscerate at the Knife.
It's actually really good though if he shuts down the Houndmaster, but it's hard to pass up that Piloted Shredder there.
Yeah, he's gonna prop the Freezing Trap, so he is gonna go for the Piloted Shredder here, and this is gonna be slightly punished by the Houndmaster play.
Yeah, he gets the Argent Protector value with the Evis though. That might actually be sick. Actually, no, he won't if we see a quick shot come down. That's a pretty good quick shot / bow target. So start with the bow. I would Houndmaster. Yeah, Houndmaster's a battle cry, so you don't want to get Web Lord. So I'd start with the Houndmaster, and then I'd bow in, and then maybe take a value trade, maybe just go face.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, going all face. Okay, so I guess that makes sense. He has 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. He's pretty close to lethal with the quick shot.
All he has to do is have one of these creatures live on the board next turn, and he has lethal. So, wow, and he could actually turn his.
It
If
looks like
his
they're both gonna die.
Silverback Patriarch lives, he can turn it into a 5/8 with taunt. What would that be? A Sunfury Protector
5/8
Cenarius.
There you go.
But he is going to clear it off, so it's not going to be as bad. Having to throw in the Paladin Shitter even after Eviscerate doesn't feel that great, but...
Okay.
Alright. We throw out Owl, Houndmaster.
Just,
Quick shot for the
just
draw.
to get the quick shot. No, you save it for next turn. You need the hero power here. But it is going to get shut down by the heal bot.
The ultimate quick shot counter. King Mukla.
Oh my gosh. Actually, you can afford, I think you can afford some bananas here.
You King Mukla, and then you Shadow Step your own King Mukla so that they have no banana targets.
Okay, okay.
New meta confirmed.
I will give it a try
There you go.
later.
The downside, you have to run King Mukla and Shadow Step in a rogue deck.
Alright. I mean, Backspace Rogue used to run those.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Wow.
Oh, man, okay. That heal not doing it, and Sukipan's not going to have lethal for a long time. He already uses South Sea.
Yeah, and he's just dead next turn. No heals in his deck. He can't even draw into a heal with Sprint, so...
Yeah, that'll do it.
He's actually just dead on
Do it.
board.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
He could hope for Doomsayer and then try and build a board because he doesn't know, but yeah, with the Shield and Minibot, doesn't have any way to deal with that. He's going to throw out the Well Played. Sprint to see what he could find. Blade Flurry, Deadly Poison, Backstab. No.
That
No
will
way.
do it.
Yeah. So it looks like we are going to go to a game number 5, and that game number 5 will be Sukipan's Rogue once again. And
Versus some kind of Warlock
yeah,
that we've lost track of.
I believe it's traditional handlock.
Traditional handlock. Okay.
Yeah. Actually,
Makes sense. I know Gooby likes traditional handlock.
Yeah.
Probably some influence there.
we've seen 3 different types of warlocks today. Or 4 different types of warlocks. We saw Dragon Warlock, or the Malilock from Hot Form, the Zoo Warlock from Sukipan, the Combo Lock from Nostam, and Serp the Terps running traditional handlock.
Oh, no, there's 2 combo locks, right?
Is there 2 combo locks?
No. Okay, no, there's only 1 combo lock. It's the Arcane Golem kind. And he just said it's Nostum, so
I think you're getting too excited.
I'm getting too excited. So it must be traditional here. We'll see.
Yeah.
Everything looks traditional so far.
Yeah.
Okay. Sukipan, really looking for... without BGH, it's hard. But you'll take 2 3/3s. But as you can see, Terp's got a really good hand. Coin Drake is the hand. Without the Coin Drake, it's pretty good.
Yeah. You like this matchup? Or do you like
I
it
give
only because
Handlock a
you
slight
started to
favorite.
put in BGH?
Yeah, I play BGH South Sea, so that's helped me a lot. But most of the time, I would rather play as the Handlock.
Yeah.
Job's done.
I hate playing handlock on ladder.
It's the worst, man. You gotta play Zombie Chow, or else everyone just kills you. So much disrespect for Moltens.
Mm-hmm. They don't care. It's all about quickness.
Yeah,
If
games
they
per
play
minute.
around Mullins and their games last 4 minutes longer on average, then there's just no point. No
I
point.
forgot to mention Sukipan does play the Bio Teacher. He only has 1, but it'll be a big pickup.
Yeah.
It's a little too late for Bio Teacher Prep Sap. You can only get 1 of those in time, I believe.
Job's done.
Yeah.
Maybe just a Bio Teacher right here, and then some... oh, okay, you can Bio Teacher here, and then get some a Prep Sap next turn. Double Sap is actually going to be pretty good.
He doesn't even have Violet Teacher.
Yeah, unfortunately. But I think he's debating whether he wants to coin the Shredder or just play the SI. Either is fine, honestly.
Just need to have something on the board to be able to match up with the 4-drop.
Yeah, I think I'd go with the Shredder here because you have 2 saps, so the Shredder's going to be hitting and hitting and hitting, and you can get that size 7 proc later with maybe a Deadly Poison. You have that option.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's your play going to be next turn? I mean, you already have a dagger. There's nothing that you really need to save the coin for next turn. At least
Yeah, honestly,
I don't think
sap
so.
is just fine. Sap
Yeah.
air power. So he could even swing here, but he's not in a rush.
Yeah.
Ooze, that might come into play huge.
I wonder if he knows that if he plays Ooze, if he saw it earlier on, if he might have been watching, because that's something you can play around by cashing in on Blade Flurries early.
Definitely. Or just holding it till you're gonna flurry for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sugipan's draw is not that exciting. Evis is not really what you want here.
Direct damage is okay for later.
This guy's toast.
Oh, he's actually just
He's gonna hold on to the saps. I like
clear
it.
it off.
I wouldn't have minded sap, but this is actually gonna turn out better for him. Because,
Flame Tongue.
oh, okay.
It's sort of like a 2-3.
I wouldn't mind a
can't
Hellfire
trade.
here, because then he could follow up with a Molten Giant Ooze. I mean, Mountain Giant Ooze would be pretty nice on turn 6.
So many.
Don't really want a Loatheb here, but I guess you could play 1 Mountain Giant. You're still pretty high HP. I think those are the plays. It's either Mountain, like no tap Mountain, and then just Mountain Ooze next turn, or just Hellfire and then Mountain Ooze next turn.
Yeah, because there's no reason for him to attack in with the second charge of the Deadly Poison here.
Yeah, with the 2 Mountain Giants, the Loatheb and the Acidic Swamp Ooze, I think you honestly have everything you need, and I wouldn't even be pushing for the tap.
This guy's toast.
I think he just needs a little bit of time to get those on the board, let him get sapped and whatnot.
Yeah.
So definitely do not Sun Fury here. Yeah, go with the Ooze. Ooze is fantastic. This is a really solid Ooze.
And now a lot of the momentum's gone here.
Yeah, and if you're a rogue, if you don't have backstab, you don't, or SF7, you really don't want to use anything on that Ooze, but he feels forced to. This is super awkward, but it's what you do when your hand's awkward. Emperor makes your next turn less awkward.
It would have been nice to be able to use Emperor after he used the sprint, but
Yeah, but now I can do Sprint Evis. He's into the Mountain Giant, assuming he trades the Mountain Giant.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, a Surf the Terp can. Oh, Surf the Terp can do a Loatheb Sun Fury here. He can even just taunt the Mountain Giant and go face, and then. Actually, there's no point in that. Okay, maybe there is. I would definitely want a Loatheb here if I was Surf the Terp, but maybe he wants to clear that first.
He's actually going to go for a second Mountain Giant before he does this. So,
You know, this is actually reasonable too, because if Sukipan goes for the sprint, Surf the Terp's still going to have basically the same board to protect with Loatheb.
yeah. And then he's basically setting up for lethal over 2 turns, so he's going to be able to swing for 18 damage next turn. Oh, man.
We should see like the Abyss here. So sprint Abyss,
Yeah,
but then the Loatheb's going to lock out all the sprinted cards. But unfortunately, sometimes you can still make plays with some creatures with like SI7 Shred or something like that.
Yeah.
Sukipan not going with the sprint there. Interesting. Feels like he needs the Azure Drake on the board. Maybe looking for a backstab so he could have full cleared. Or the sap, I guess. Okay, I didn't see the sap. That makes sense.
Yeah. At least he sort of has, not initiative on board, but he at least has a chance where he's going to be able to sprint and not have to worry about dying the following turn. If he did get locked out with something like Loatheb, so.
I think if he wants to play the Mountain Giant here, he would tap and then maybe get double Mortal Coil on the Drake. Otherwise, I kind of like Dr. Boom, coil your own Boombot. But if he's going to play the Mountain, I'd really like to see a tap. Because then he could do tap Mountain and double Mortal Coil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he sees that. Yeah, cool. Let's go for it.
Dr. Boom is sort of problematic for rogues, but this is a tough play to pass up on.
Job's done.
And
you don't
now,
wanna
if
leave
this
things on
Mountain
the
Giant
board.
gets sapped, it's only going to be 4.
Well, yeah, that's true. And he may not be expecting him to have double sap in pretty much his first 10 cards. All right, well, here comes the sprint.
Okay, so yeah, Sword Trooper has a lot of freedom here when the rogue has empty board.
Yeah.
He can do some South Sea, Flurry, double oil math, but he's pretty good. He has the option to go with the setup taunts or Lothubs. One of those he's going to do this turn because Dr. Boom isn't that great. So is he going to Lothub taunt or Twilight Lothub?
Twilight Lothub. Because
Yeah, it
Lothub
seems just as
taunt.
good.
Yeah. All right, how is he going to deal with this? This is pretty much just locking Sukipan out of the game.
Yeah, that was really... Oh, man.
Yeah, I think that is game. I don't think there's any way that he can deal with this. No, he can sap. If he saps, he's not doing anything else.
Yeah, he can sap and kind of hope that there's no taunt givers and maybe set up for like a South Sea top deck or a Flurry top deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he does play Healbot, so he should
Yeah.
be fine. If he can somehow Flurry next turn,
Yeah.
he's good to go.
Sap is actually the only thing that even keeps him alive. So he really has no choice but to try and use that. But he's going to be taken down well below 10 health this turn. And yeah, it looks like that's just going to lock Sukipan out of the game.
Yeah, probably like an Emperor Defender here. You don't need the heal, and you don't really need the Mountain Giant either. You probably just take the Emperor, maybe make your next play solid.
Yeah.
I wonder.
He might even want to play like super passively play Healbot.
I guess it's reasonable, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Because you're thinking, wow, he sapped without playing. Well, I guess he didn't really have a choice, but he just thinking, I know I'm going to win this game. There's not really any way that he's going to be able to heal and clear my board to come back, so I might as well just heal and try and put myself as far out of range of anything as I possibly can.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. There is the heal bot, but it's a little too late.
Yeah.
I think we
There's
still have
no-
2 preps for Sukipan, though. So he could Azure Drake and chain some preps with the Fan of Knives. But he'd have to prep into a Flurry, which he couldn't afford.
Yeah, I just...
He needs
Without a
he
prep
needs
in his
prep
hand
and
right
Flurry,
now.
So.
Yeah. I don't think there's any way. The best chance that he has is just...
Pay attention, class.
Huh.
You find a way to live.
Well played.
If he
Doubt it.
backstabs... No, because it's not a spell-powered backstab.
Okay, he's 2 damage out of range. But we could see the Dr. Boom. No.
Belcher doesn't do it.
See, if he played the Emperor last turn, A, he would have lethal. B, he would have had like Shadow Flame with Dr. Boom. But that's okay. That's okay. He should still have this. Alright, he should definitely leave the teacher up, whatever he does. That way he doesn't have to worry really about oil at all.
Is he going to have that amount of insight to leave that up to play around oil? I don't think it even really matters. Can he draw on anything here? No. I think Dark Bomb would have done it. But I don't
Go
remember.
for Shadow Flame, but do not taunt the... Sometimes they silence the teacher thinking they're helping, but yeah, just Shadow Flame, leave the teacher up, maybe kill the heal bot if you want.
Sometimes they...
You know?
The non-rogue master plebs. Nah,
Yeah, you
it's
get
like-
it, TJ. You get it.
Yeah. I understand.
I
He clears
guess
it
you
off,
can kill
though.
it. Alright, you can kill it.
Yeah. It still represents a potential for oil to land, and it still represents 3 damage, so...
Yeah, and you could force trade it into the Twilight Drake to make the oil not land on it, so... I guess it's fine. Alright, he's out of saps. He's out of heals. There's
He's out of
really not that many
eviscerates.
options.
Yeah. He can Azure Drake into nothing.
Did he use the prep last? I think he still has 2 preps, so sprint into double prep, and then with 2 preps and 2 new cards, he can not win a South Sea prep flurry.
There's no preps.
There's a heal.
All
Okay,
right.
there's another heal, but yeah, it should be it.
Well
Alrighty, throws out the well played. And
All
then
those
it's going to
creatures a little too deep. You want those shredders and the Lothebs earlier.
Yeah. See Surf the Turf give a little bit of a fist bump. He's like, I just won $50. I'm going to be able to buy
fighting from
25
O2.
packs. Yeah, that's a really big moral victory for him as well. He's going to secure 7 GEICO points, 1 Hearthstone World Championship points, and $50 for his 3rd place finish. So congratulations to Surf the Turf for that. Keep in mind that the 4 players that made it here were the top 4 from the North American qualifier number 1, which happened yesterday, or the majority of it happened yesterday. So Surf the Turf had to play through a lot of players to get here. So that victory at the end there, making sure he secured top 3, is actually pretty big. On the other hand, Suki Pan, he'll still go away with 5 GEICO points and 1 Hearthstone World Championship point, but no money. But again, once again, it's a big victory for him to finish 4th as well and get those points at all.
Yeah, he doesn't even have the cards. He's coming over here. He's representing Team Celestial. Really awesome to see that.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, we want to give a big shout out to GEICO, who's sponsoring the summer circuit for One Nation to Gamers. And make sure you head over to geico.onog.gg. All the information will be there. You can get a GEICO quote. You can also enter in a giveaway to win a official TSM PC. So the specs of the PC, I believe, are on the website as well, so you can check those out. It's actually pretty sweet. And, of course, helping us make a $60,000 prize pool for the summer circuit available, and probably the biggest open circuit that's going to be going on across the summer. So make sure you head on over to the website, check it all out, sign up for the giveaway, get a GEICO quote, all that stuff. But we do have one more match for you guys today, the final of the Summer Circuit North American Qualifier number 1. It's going to be Nostam versus Hot Form. There's $200 worth of prizes online, about 20 GEICO points, 15 Hearthstone World Championship points on the line, plus a guaranteed spot in the feature qualifier, the feature tournament, which is going to happen, I believe, like at the end of the month. So again, don't go anywhere, guys. More North American qualifier for the Summer Circuit number 1 right after this break. Alrighty. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the One Nation of Gamers Summer Circuit. This is the North American #1 qualifiers. Of course, this is brought to you by GEICO as well. I'm Osmo, joined once again by Tempo Storm's very own George Hyped Maganzini. We're about to jump into the final match of the day. It's going to be between Nostem from Grand National Champions, of course, Casey Tron's wonderful team filled with Grand National Champions. He's going to be taking on Hot Form from Root Gaming. And what do you think of this matchup, Hyped?
I'm really excited. They both have they're really cool warlocks. Although I think that the Malygos warlock is a little bit favored in the mirror. Should have come down to that, but it might not come down to that. Nostem has the Freeze Mage. I'm always a fan of that, of course. And then I believe Nostem also has a Patron Warrior. Meanwhile, Hot Form has a Control Paladin. I didn't get to see much of that because that's the match I dropped out on. Was there anything super cool about it? Was there a Kel'Thuzad like we assumed?
We didn't see it, but there was double lay on hands and double equality. So that's, we talked about a little bit earlier, kind of standard, at least the double equality is for the more control-y type paladins. But didn't see Kel'Thuzad, but I'm pretty sure it's in there from watching him play through the Open yesterday.
I imagine it's going to struggle versus the Freeze Mage and the combo lock, but maybe it'll do good against Patron lock. I mean, I have to imagine when he built it, he had Patron Warrior in mind.
Yeah. All right, I think the names are a little bit mixed up, but...
Yeah, we'll be able to tell when we see the decks. Oh, the spectator's messed up, that's the problem.
Okay. Well, we know the first matchup is going to be Warlock versus Warrior, at least. But we should be jumping back into that in just a second.
Yeah, spectator, get it together, man.
Yeah. Keep in mind, there is a $50 prize difference between first and second place. $125 for first, $75 for second. Also difference in Hearthstone World Championship points. There's 10 for first, as well as 5 for second. And then GEICO points. 10 GEICO points for first place, and only 9 for second. Of course, those GEICO points, you don't even have to win in order to qualify for the land and for the features if you have enough GEICO points.
Alright, Nostem doing a lot of shape-shifting, but I think that's him, the picture. And then we'll see Hot Form in the top right soon. Yeah. Alright, so it's going to be Patron versus Handlock. It's an uphill battle. We didn't get to see any specific text from Nostem, but I want to believe that he put some in there. We were speculating that maybe an Owl, a BGH, both are in there.
Yeah.
All right, but actually, it's a little unfortunate because his other two decks are great against... Oh, no, we decided it's the combo lock. Okay, that changes things a little bit. But the Malygos lock...
Yeah.
Okay, so there's going to... I believe there's still 2 Hellfires and a Shadow Flame. But there's less taunts and taunt givers. But there are 2 heal bots. But also there's like things like Implosion that could be a liability. I hope he didn't miss a tap there. I see nothing in the combo log, but I think that's just because of the Spectator. I think they're waiting for the Spectator, so they're just roping while the Spectators get off spectating. Oh, Nostem, we have a cam on Nostem, cam on Hot Form now. Alright, we'll get Hot Form's hand soon, but everything else is set up.
Right now we're role-playing as Nostem, as his Grim Patron Warrior, so... Alright, well, once again... Okay. Alright. It appears as if Noscam disconnected.
Okay, but he's back.
But he's back now, so I think we should be good to go as far as that goes. We now see the hand of...
Almost.
We're getting there.
We're getting there. It's the first 4 turns anyways, we're good. Nothing exciting's happened yet.
We know the Warlock's going to tap, we know he's going to play a drop on 4. Good to go.
Okay, going for the execute. Doesn't feel like he can Deathbite that thing down.
Yeah, this is actually a pretty good hand for Nostem.
Yeah, it's a great Emperor hand. I wouldn't be surprised to see him coin the Emperor right here. You're hitting Warsong Frothing and Patron.
And Deathbite, which are like your 4 main tools to
definitely
beat Handlock.
Okay, so and he's got the he's actually got the Grom follow-up with the cool Taskmaster. That's a lot of burst damage. If you can get him kind of down and get him to Hellfire without taunting up, gonna be huge. Okay, is
Ooh.
I don't think we're going off this turn. Probably just setting up the Dust Bite.
Yeah. You want to go off with a Sludge Belcher on the board. Setting up the Death Bite, and then there's not really... So you sort of have to find a balance between like setting up lots of patrons and holding on to pieces of your combos for the Frothing Berserkers. Because the
if you have
patrons
a
are just
second
there to
war
like
song,
get out the AoEs.
definitely. If he had a second war song, I wouldn't. I think we'd see him split it up. But since he only has one war song, I think he wants to put all of that in one turn. So war song patron frothing is 8, and then he wants a whirlwind. So it's probably like not going off till turn 9. But he might feel forced to do like a mini combo here, like you said, if he thinks like it's a good turn to maybe get Hawthorne to Hellfire.
Yeah. He might not even set them up at all and just go for like a super passive play.
Yeah, I think that Armorsmith trade-in signifies that he's not going to be going off for a while.
Yeah.
Not until at least he can whirlwind that slime down. Although he assumed that it was going to trade in. But this Emperor is going to be a problem. So now he can clear that with just Patron, if he feels the need to.
What's that disorder where you can't... There's a disorder where you can't understand what things are when they're upside down.
Dyslexic, maybe?
No.
When things are upside down.
It's like dyslexia, but instead of like words, it's like pictures, and you...
Interesting. It's in the dyslexia family, probably.
Dogs have it.
Dogs have it.
Yeah. It's like if a dog is upside down, they can't recognize
I do not know this
things
one.
or people. Well, if you have it, we're sorry.
Oh,
So trust us. We'll tell you what the cards are. I think that's a Faceless, the second card from the top.
Yeah. That looks like a Faceless. Oh,
Yeah.
maybe I have it. I don't even know. Is it a
If I was a
Gruul?
dog, I
think
would
it's
have
Gruul.
no idea. Oh, it's a Gruul?
I think so. It's purple.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Might be a Malagos. Malagos is cost 4 mana. Alright, well, he actually uses a lot of his...
Oh, there was the nice spectators mousing over all of it for us.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it. Well, this is actually a lot of damage. I don't think he's dead. No, he's not.
Yeah. But he's going to be in Grom range, so he needs to taunt up, and Hellfire actually is really punishing here.
So can he Hellfire and heal? Yeah, he
Is
does
that a
have
heal bot? Yeah, he's a heal bot.
But he's still got second Warsong Commander. That's actually a pretty big deal. He can actually just Grom here. At least I feel he can just Grom here.
It's super awkward, though, because you do really want to burn that Whirlwind.
Well,
So
Grom
he takes him down to 6, and then he has no more heals or taunts.
Grom into the anti-kill bot.
Oh, I don't like that. No.
Why?
No. That took, I think some of those combo locks played BGH. I've lost track of who's played.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
At the very least, they play Owl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like Grom to the face.
Yeah.
I mean, if the longer this game goes, Hawthorne's just gonna assemble his stuff. So how many turns can you really wait? But maybe Nostam's thinking he can do Warsong, Frothing, Whirlwind, Battle Rage next turn. That's 8, but he only has 1 more mana. Oh, okay.
Looks like he's gonna go for it. Eey! Yeah, I think Grom is the right play, but in what like if he just goes
You know
face?
this deck doesn't have Moltens. Come on, just go for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm feeling this. And just to clarify, that is Nostam on the Warrior, the position swapped.
Yeah. Alright, well... Wait, is it?
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
Oh, man. Okay.
Because Hawthorne didn't run Faceless.
I think you're right. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not a dragon. Okay, so yeah, so that's Nostam in the top right.
Yeah, Nassim,
So it looks
and
like
I was like,
the win
Hot
there.
Form's face looked like he was thinking during the warrior turn, and I was like, what? Okay.
Oh, he
Yeah.
doesn't. He didn't find lethal though.
But he does find a way to deal with Grom, so that's a good thing. He's not going to be put onto a clock anytime soon. And he can attack over 2 turns with Fire War Axe because, like you said, there's no Moltons in this deck. There's not even really taunts in the deck. It's all, I think Sludge Belcher might be the only taunt in the deck. So he does run double heal bot.
I don't even think there is a Sludge Belcher.
He killed a Sludge Belcher earlier
Oh, I know.
with the Death Bite.
Just testing you.
Okay, good. I passed. All right, well, he just wins. Yeah, sometimes with this deck, it's not a hand lock, so you can just pressure and win. You just put on the damage and win. So, Hot Form, of course, he was the one playing the Warrior. He's going to take game 1. And only has to win now with the Paladin deck, which he actually struggled with in his first series. Took him 3 tries. He ended up doing it in the end, but it took him 3 tries to get there. And, of course, his own Warlock, which we know is the Malagos Warlock. The Malagos sort of Dragon Warlock. So, yep, there's the check mark.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, that Paladin's really going to struggle against the Mage and the Warlock of no stam.
Yeah.
Gotta imagine it's got a good chance against the Patron Warrior, though. So it's a little sad that no stam couldn't sneak his Warrior win in there, or else I think he would have had the series. But without that, it's going to be problematic. And we think that Hot Form's Warlock is favored in the mirror, but it's going to struggle against the Mage as well. So it's like I want to put the green check mark on Nostam's Freeze Mage right now, just to simplify things, because that's how I see the matchup.
I don't think we're allowed to do that.
Okay, so going first is what you want as the Warlock, but you want a Mountain Giant, not this. But Iron Beak Owl, this is actually a curve. So it's not the 8 power you want, but the Iron Beak Owl is going to shut down the Scientist. But it's not like No Stam's going to coin one out, so it's going to be off curve for the Hot Form. I think you could go ahead and play that Zombie Chow, but you give up a tap. Oh, that's rough.
You can tap and then... I guess this contests for, like, Mad Scientist next turn?
Yeah.
Or Loot Hoarder? Yeah, there it is.
Right, so we'll see if he goes for the Silence here.
We have Vision.
Oh my gosh, that hand is fantastic for Nostam. It's not quite as good as, say, having like Loot Hoarders and Mad Scientist doing free damage to the face, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. So this deck, how is this deck going to win? This Malagos Warlock. It doesn't pressure nearly as hard as Handlock early on. Like, it doesn't have Giants. And, like, even, like, the combos, the one-turn kills doesn't do anything because what they do is they kill from, like, 10. Which just doesn't do anything against Freeze Mage.
I wouldn't have minded Hot Form going for, like, maybe the no Ice Block route and silencing that. But we see that Nostam has the Ice Block in hand anyways, so Hot Form making the right decision. Just kind of building up a board. Nothing special, but it's actually, if you look at it, now it's almost like he has a Giant on the board with that amount of power.
Yeah, I suppose.
And the Zombie Chow heal not going to be relevant because the armor here. Maybe, we'll see.
He's going to chip through the armor next turn. But he does have, yeah, like you said, really good hand. He's going to be able to hold on to the coin to turn it into a fireball later on with Archmage Antonidas. No dragon.
Yeah, this Flame Strike's going to do a lot of work once it comes down. There's nothing in Hot Form's hand that's going to dodge it, except for maybe the Emperor, but it's going to be a big Flame Strike.
He's actually just going to start to pile on the damage here. Surprised he didn't at least trade.
Yeah, here's that interesting moment where it's like, do you want to keep your Scientist on the board, or do you want to use it, cash in the job before you Arcane Intellect? It's kind of a weird choice. I usually just like to hold the Scientist on the board a little bit longer. He's actually full on. He can't Arcane Intellect unless he wants to burn something.
So we're just gonna throw down Loot Hoarder here and pay?
Yeah, super awkward turn because he doesn't want to use his coin, like he mentioned with the Antonidas.
Yeah. He might be in a situation where he sort of has to.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a coin flame strike here. You get the 2 damage into the loot hoarder. Hot form might be on top of this, and he might trade into the loot hoarder here to block the 2 damage.
Hmm.
It costs him 2 damage as well, so it feels like depends on where he thinks he is in the race.
Yeah, I don't think he can really afford to hold on to that coin any longer. And secret is ice block. So I've seen people cutting second ice barrier. What do you think
I
of that?
have not in freeze mage. I think that's like more on the giant mage though, right? Or
No, it's
I'm not
freeze
sure.
mage.
Oh dang. It's pretty high risk because you're usually gonna miss the cycle from the scientist, so it's like you're not really gaining, like it's almost free usually with the scientist. So I think it's pretty risky.
Alright, well, he is going to get slightly punished by the Flame Strike. Wow, still no dragon to activate these Blackwing Corruptors. He's missing the damage here. I guess it doesn't really matter at this point, but that 3 extra damage can sort of add up.
Yeah, it's kind of like, putting an 8 power creature on the board almost.
Yeah.
But
An
as
8/4.
we know,
It's
it dies to, flame.
It's basically red and black hand, yeah. Come on,
That's a good card.
I gotta compare the cards to the card. Wow, this is a pretty valuable Emperor Thorsan. He's reducing so many big creatures. The biggest thing is Archmage Antonidas and Ice Lance there. Ice Lance is basically going to be able to turn into a Fireball. Alexstrasza for 8 mana. Really big turn. And he finally
It's
picks
that
up Dragon.
dragon,
Yeah.
Pretty sick turn here. He has the option to double Corruptor, and after seeing Flame Strike, I don't see why not. I mean, you're going to get frozen anyways, but at least you get to... Oh, this is interesting.
Wow.
Interesting.
I guess feels like he's not going to find an opportunity to Hellfire anymore after this point.
Yeah,
So
plus
he
he
wants
can
to
get
get
some
in that
sneaky
damage?
damage in next turn with Corruptor Dark Bomb.
Yeah, as long as one creature survives on the board, he's going to be able to pop the block. Or it doesn't get frozen, but it looks like it's going to get frozen. Unless he goes for... No.
What to do?
He could Blizzard Doomsayer.
Yeah, he could just get away with just Barrier. He doesn't need to freeze, technically. So he could do Antonidas Barrier. No. I think he needs more than one Fireball now. He needs to do a bigger Antonidas turn than that. So
Yeah.
let's see. Blizzard Doomsayer is a little bit too weak here, I think. So maybe start with the Intellect. Look to draw into a Frost Nova.
Well, he has 9 cards.
Oh yeah, he can afford it.
Oh, yeah, he can afford it, yeah. So, yeah, it's actually pretty tough. Might want to just set up the... He can bury and then... Oh, did he grab the Alexstrasza?
I wonder if he's asking himself or the other guy. Let's see. Okay. So this way he can do something like Antonidas, Ice Block, and then get another Fireball. So he has enough damage outside of no heals, but he knows Hot Form's running 2 heal bots, but he knows he's low on cards as well. Also, he's putting that A down on the board, and actually kind of like that Ice Lance. He didn't have Ice Lance activation, and now this way it makes the Alex actually, a threat to deal with.
So can you afford to deal with it, or do you just have to pop the block here and hope that he doesn't have enough damage?
That's the choice here for Hot Form. He can deal with it or he can pop the block, and I think with a taunt on the board, I think you can just... actually, I think he can clear it if he sounces the freeze off. He can clear it and pop the block pretty safely. He's just figuring out how to do it here. He has enough damage, but he's just figuring out the most efficient way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's why he can't do both.
Yeah.
But it's
Well,
good
this way
enough
he
to taunt
can
up.
save his spells to... By silencing his own guy, he can save his spells to go through Ice Barrier.
Yeah.
Or go through Freeze is a big thing. Like, he has Blackwing Corruptor to pop the block to another block, and then Dark Bomb to pop the block once both are popped. But I don't know if he's going to live that long.
Okay. Okay, but now if he pops the block, he has these 2 creatures he kind of has to deal with. So if he doesn't get a Shadow Flame, which he doesn't, He's gonna be taking like a lot of damage. He's got to figure out how to reduce his damage and pop the block, and not die. So there's 12. There's 13 damage from hand with the ping. So he doesn't. He just has to take care of one of these, and he should be in the clear here, outside of a Frostbolt top deck.
Yeah.
Okay, I think Soulfire should help a lot. So he can Soulfire the Alexstrasza. He could trade his 2 left into the Antonidas, and then he can, well, he can start with, like, a Corruptor face. I guess there's a way to do this where you can preserve your Tantu. So you can Corruptor the Antonidas, I believe. No. Okay, well, there's a way to do it with a full clear of the board and pop the block. I don't think it involves... Okay, maybe that's kind of the Dark Bomb.
If he implosions here...
I'm not seeing... Okay, I mean... I guess he figures the Antonidas doesn't...
Okay, this way can get him to 1, and he can clear both. Because he can throw this in and then Dark Bomb the Antonidas. Okay, there was a couple ways he can do that. This way leaves him with the most power, and it also allows him to pop the block. And put him at 1.
No stam, not finding it. Wow. I'm probably going to go for the Ice Barrier, but it's not going to do it.
Mm-mm. Wow, if he had gotten like one more Fireball reduced, or if Thorstein had lived an extra turn, or Frostbolt off the top, so many outs there, or so many ways that he could have won, but we know that it's not going to be enough.
Alright, Hawthorne picking up a win. As I was saying, this was like going to be a free win for Nostam, but Hawthorne like putting together a win in a really weird way. Like he built up a small little kind of board while keeping Nostams under control, then he found like a lot of just like magic damage, like non-physical damage with the Corruptor damage, the Soul Fires and the Dark Bombs, and the Hellfire.
Alright, well, I think that's 2-0 for Hot Form. I think the score was wrong during the match because it said Nostam had a victory.
Okay.
But that is going to be 2-0 to Hot Form because he took the win with the Pigeon Warrior first. So once again, Hot Form finds himself in a position where he has 3 opportunities to win with Paladin. It was the same in his first match of the day, and now it's going to be the same for this one as well. So I'd say he's got a pretty good shot. 3 chances, even if all are going into like 40% matchups, he still has a decent shot to win. All the games today have gone to best of 5s, all 3 series so far. So it seems like a trend.
Okay. I'd give this one less than 40. I'd give it 20. 20 for the Paladin.
Even with double lay on hands? And and anti-Keelbot?
Alright, the double lay on hand isn't much. Maybe does he play Lothar? That would be a nice card, but I doubt it's in there. I really doubt he can fit that in there. And Nostam picking up a lot of draw, so he's not going to have any trouble with that.
Yeah, and he could just bounce these Acolytes off 1/1s all day.
You know what Hawthorne needs is like a dream on the heal bot. That would be nice. I was actually
that
playing
is
against
literally the dream.
Yeah, when I first made the Malgos deck, I was playing against the Gooby Senchu, and he did like a heal bot and Guardian of Kings and Lay on Hands, and then he bounced his heal bot, and he's sitting pretty at 30 HP, and then I just one-shot him from 30. He's a little upset. It's a little stronger against this deck without the Malgos. Yeah, you can see like there's just no pressure at all from Hot Form, so Nostam's going to have all the time in the world to draw all the cards he wants.
Yeah, I don't know. He has a lot of heal.
That's interesting, though, that he didn't ping his... I guess he's a little too full on cards here.
Yeah. I think he sort of wants to sack it in, so Hot Form can't control how many cards he gets with it.
Yeah.
Because he could actually make him overdraw. And if he overdraws Archimedes Antonidas, that's a really big deal.
Ooh, I don't know if I like that. It would die to, like, say, True Silver or something like that. Too easy to kill. Hot Form doesn't have an answer, but I guess his hand was so full that he had to just drop something.
Reporting for duty.
Okay, Nostam getting a free Acolyte ping if he wants it, but again, his hand is super full. Yeah, he stays at 9, but he could overdraw. Yo, I like this
really
better.
wants to get
I like
in our
this
face.
Acolyte Loot Hoarder.
Yeah.
He's still going to be in the same spot next turn where he has to, like, spend cards. Because none of those cards he wants to spend, right?
He can. Well, it depends. Because he can actually force multiple draws out of this and make it so he can't use Arcane Intellect. Yeah, he's actually going to consecrate. What is it? This? Oh, he is going to overdraw one.
Yeah, there's nothing. No Sam's. Oh, there's nothing too important. He's got the Alex, so everything else.
Archmage Nidus.
My
With
That
all the
is a
heals.
big one, but yeah,
Okay, that scientist not that big.
most of the time, he's not gonna lose anything valuable. He has the one Frostbolt to activate his Ice Lances. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
So now, Hot Form has to heal immediately after Helix because No Stam has more than 15 in one turn. He even has the Pyroblast, so as long as No Stam lives, he wins. He has, yeah, I don't see Hot Form popping the block anytime soon, so it should be pretty good.
And this deck doesn't really put on much pressure. I don't even know if he has a way to do if he's gonna have a way to deal with Alex. Like no BGH in the hand, he can outdoor Peacekeeper it, but then he has to draw or heal and outdoor Peacekeeper in the same turn.
Yeah, he might feel pressured to kill that, but really he doesn't have to. Yeah, I like this. Just ping maybe Flame Strike next turn.
Yeah. Equality is the way to deal with it. But he's got both secrets up, and it's going to be a while before he pushes through. He can play Ysera, though, on turn 8. I think getting lots of value out of Ysera might be the only way that he can find a way to win.
He does have all the heals. Technically, he has 31 plus 4. He has 35 HP. And No Stam has 21 plus 6 is 27. So technically, No Stam is a little bit short.
He
But
could
one
play.
more. There it is. There it is. That's 33. So with a few pings in there, he has enough damage to burn through all of Hotform's heals. So Hotform needs to find his second ice, lay on hands, and even then it's going to
True Silver Champion heals for 4 over 2 turns as well.
Oh no, I counted that.
Oh, you counted
But
that?
I didn't count the Dream Ysera, so if he picks up a Dream here, the Dream Heal Bot, that will be how he wins.
Yeah.
But No Sam still has a chance to win with the Antonidas.
You make it sound so grim there, George.
A little dangerous, but he manages to pick up a non-cycle 2-drop. The only one.
Ooh, Kel'Thuzad. It doesn't really matter. If he, no.
I kind of like it because it guarantees pretty much that you're going to have Emperor and Ysera forever. And that mana reduction is important.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting to the point where he can play Lay on Hands, Anti-Keelbot, Eldar Peacekeeper, and True Silver Champion all in the same turn.
The outdooring that might be relevant. Yeah, he might actually. That 2 damage is pretty relevant.
Yeah, well, I was thinking for the Alexstrasza if he doesn't find a way to deal with it.
Oh, that's another. Well, he's got. Okay, yeah, because the equality is actually horrible.
Yeah, because he's
I
got
think that 2 damage is going to be the extra damage that No Stam needs.
Oh no!
So Hot Form needs a Dream. There is a
The dream.
It still might not be enough.
Oh man! All right, well here comes the Alex. So he could. Oh my goodness! He could Anti-Keelbot Dream, Anti-Keelbot again, and
I
True
think I
Silver
like
Champion.
Anti-Keelbot Dream and then lay on. Oh, he's going to overdraw though. But I'd like holding the Antique in case he gets another Dream because he might need that.
That's true. Can he Anti-Keelbot and just True Silver Champion? No!
Okay, no, Hotform's got something in mind. Don't worry. Plus, he does have a million cards. So I guess he can get rid of some.
Yeah. Alright.
If you res your Ysera, do you miss out on the card? Or does it depend on order? Or... I think it's good, okay. I'll worry about it when it happens.
Yeah. So he can actually... He's got 9, 15, 19 damage. So he can't quite get through the block.
Interesting that he made that play then, because you'd think if you're going to burn the Dream like that, you would pop the block at least.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems. He was throwing. Oh, he gets another one.
Oh, actually, I like that play because look, see, since
Burns a card.
well, because yeah, he threw the scientist back, so he's actually hoping to burn the block there, and Nostam is actually lacking the second block, so he's gonna have to put the scientist down and hope it doesn't get silenced, but it's gonna get dreamed again unless Hoffman wants to do the heal bot.
Wow. It's gonna put him at 6, and freeze his face, so he actually can't get the heal from the True Silver Champion.
Yeah, and actually, scientist doesn't even do it because hot form would just pop the scientist before he pops the block.
Mind if I roll knee?
But that
So-
second dream is, I think that's going to do it. So that takes him up to 21. And Nostam only has 16 damage left.
Wow. You were painting it so bad. He only needed one dream in order to make it through.
Well, that was 2 dreams.
Well, one dream on the anti-heal bot. I mean, he
Well,
literally
the
had
scientist one
almost
was kind
all of his
pretty
heal
big.
in his. Emperor Thor's hand made Lay on Hands cost what, 5 mana? And that was a 1 mana heal bot. So yeah, he's gonna clear everything off. He's gonna pop the block here, and even if he draws into second block, he just doesn't have enough
Yeah, he
damage.
doesn't have enough time. He would need to Emperor Thorsane, Frost Nova, but he can't freeze face. Okay, so he can't afford everything. So he'd have to Arcane Intellect, Frost Nova, freeze face, and he just can't do it all. And there's another dream.
Wow. Yeah,
There's a
Doomsayer's not
Doomsayer.
gonna help him. He
But
can try
maybe
and
maybe that first Doomsayer was what cost Nostam. Alright, there's Frost Nova, but he can't freeze face, so he has to burn a block here. Yeah, so you just block this turn, and no. Yeah, you save the Frost Nova for next turn.
he's gonna try and throw out damage. Oh man. There's just not enough.
And there's
he's
the
gonna go back up to
Consecrate, so he
17.
can never...
And another dream!
Oh man.
He's okay, so that's 3 heal bots and a Lay on Hands that he's used. So that's 32 points of heal, plus 2 charges of a True Super Champion. He's healed for 36 health
Not bad.
this game. Not bad. Not bad, hot form.
This is Nostam's face right now. He's like, not bad, not bad.
Yeah. He knows. He knows. It's pretty funny. Everybody always hopes for, oh, you get Sarah Awakens, not
Look at
Laughing
that.
Sister.
Look at that hot form picking up a Laughing Sister. He must be pretty upset about that. Worst one.
No. He wanted to be
Never
able to heal
lucky.
for 44. Alright, well, it looks like that is going to do it. He does have the True Silver Champion in his hand. He can even just Consecrate.
Yeah, Consecrate. Oh man.
Yeah. Throws out the Well Played. And after 3 5-game series, 3
Really hard
full
matchups
best
too
of
for hot
fives.
form.
Yeah.
He beat the Freeze Mage with this Paladin. He beat the Freeze Mage with that Warlock, which I thought both of those were going to be free wins. Really difficult.
Yeah.
And actually, what did he beat with his Patron Ward? Was that Handlock as well, that first match? Or Combo Lock?
Well,
but
it's
actually,
Combo Lock.
yeah, either way, it's still a hard matchup. 3 hard matchups picking it up for hot form.
Yeah. Yeah, so Hot Form is going to be the winner. He 3-0s Nostam in the finals here. And so he's going to get the 10 GEICO points, the 10 World Championship points, as well as $125. He also qualifies for the Future Tournament number 1, which I believe will happen on June 19th, I believe next weekend. Of course, that consists of the winner of the NA number 1, the winner of EU number 1, the winner of NA number 2, and the winner of EU number 2, and then of course the 2 players with the highest points for a total of 8 players. So that's going to be another opportunity for him to win more points, and of course more money, and a chance for him to qualify for the LAN, which is going to be at PAX. So Hot Form, he's proven himself to be a really solid player.
Yeah, it was really cool. Doing it with some cool decks too.
Yeah. Yeah. We do also, of course, want to give a big shout out to GEICO, of course, for making the One Nation of Gamers Summer Circuit possible. This is the biggest circuit, biggest league over the summer, especially for open players who are going to have a really big opportunity to win lots of money, and of course, lots of those Hearthstone World Championship points. The EU qualifier, the next EU qualifier, actually is at tomorrow. So I believe you can go to, is it Liquid Hearth? in order to get
Yeah.
more information on that. So if you want to participate, it's open to everybody as long as you have an EU account. Even NA players. There was actually an NA player that won the first EU qualifier. So if you have cards on EU and you're an NA player, go ahead. We want to remind you also that the NA qualifier is actually next week, so on the 16th, so Tuesday. So that's going to be NA number 2. And so if you want some GEICO points, if you want to start making your way through this tournament and want some World Championship points, want some cash, then participate. I know, of course, me and George will be participating as well, so you have a chance to get beaten by us.
Yeah. Maybe not this week, I'll be DreamHack, but I'll try to play from DreamHack. Sweden, it'll be cool.
Yeah. Well, also make sure you head over to geico.onog.gg. You can get more information about the circuit, more information about GEICO. You can get a quote from GEICO as well, and you can also enter in for a giveaway to win an official TSM PC. It's got really cool specs. You can check out the specs on that website as well. So lots of great stuff. And I think it's going to do it. Hype, do you have any final comments that you want to give? Anything that's you thought was really cool about today?
I don't know, just shout out to One Nation of Gamers, GEICO, and shout out to my team, Tempo Storm. Follow me on Twitter. Check us out at tempostorm.com.
Alrighty. Well, again, that's going to do it. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you participate in the EU qualifier, which is going to be happening tomorrow. But until next time, thanks for watching. And congratulations to Hotform.